at a military base in Illinois ahead of an expected immigration roundup in Chicago. CBS News Chicago reporter Darius Johnson at a facility where some protesters turned up.
How do you spell fascist?
I-C-E! Chanting can be heard outside the facility that the mayor of Broadview, Illinois, says will become the primary hub for federal immigration operations, running 7 days a week for at least 45 days. Activists call the conditions inside inhumane, pointing to reports of people being held here for days without beds, blankets, or basic hygiene.
And numbers are in from an immigration sweep yesterday at a Hyundai plant in Georgia. 475 people detained.
The immigrants were helping to build the new electric vehicle battery plant at Hyundai's huge complex near Savannah. Steve Schrenk, special agent in charge for the Department of Homeland Security in Georgia, says some of the workers' visas had expired. Others had crossed the border illegally.
Those who exploit our workforce, undermine our economy, and violate federal laws will be held accountable.
Many of those arrested were Korean nationals. South Korea's foreign ministry is urging the U.S. to treat them fairly. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
The CBS News has learned the Trump administration is expected to issue an executive order as soon as today, establishing a designation for state sponsors of wrongful detention. It would allow the U.S. to punish countries that illegally detain Americans or take them hostage. The U.S. has ordered deployment of 10 fighter jets to Puerto Rico to conduct operations against drug cartels. CBS's Charlie D'Agata says Venezuela has been in the crosshairs.
The questions that are being raised now and will probably be raised in Congress is where do we stand in terms of this conflict? Is it an anti-drug or anti-narco terrorist operation? Is it a sort of undeclared declaration of war against Venezuela? Or is there an idea of regime change?
The government says employers added 22,000 jobs last month, a drop-off from July's 79,000. Unemployment rate rising to 4.3%, highest level since 2021. KPMG economist Diane Swan.
This is a labor market where those who are looking for a job are having a hard time finding one, especially if they've lost a job. And that's leaving more workers on the sidelines, even though the participation rate picked up, which was the one silver lining.
European Commission has fined Google nearly $3.5 billion over abusive online advertising practices. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Arrested for trying to light a deputy on fire. The story coming up, but first, Lori is in the KIRO Newsradio Traffic Center.
Westbound 90 at West Mercer Way. Look out for a stall. It's in the HOV lane. Bellevue to Seattle on I-90, only 11 minutes. It's 12 minutes if you take 520. Everett to Seattle, a 28-minute drive. Tacoma to Federal Way, looking at 12 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle down to 33 minutes, and Federal Way to Bellevue, a 5-minute delay. Now, Renton to Seattle, 23 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, 31 minutes. And traffic is brought to you by AAA. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Lakewood police have released chilling surveillance video of an attempted kidnapping at a bikini barista stand. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao takes a look.
You see a man buying a drink. The barista handed him his order. The customer is seen aggressively grabbing her arm, trying to force her out the window. The barista braces herself on the framing when he lets go and drives away. During an interview with Lakewood detectives, 19-year-old Ezekiel Guerrero described what happened.
I remember reaching vividly, grabbed her, she said help. And when she said help, I let go.
Police say they tracked him down using his credit card receipt from that night.
He faces attempted kidnapping charges. A man in Ellensburg is facing attempted murder charges after allegedly trying to set a police officer on fire. Body cam video capturing the moment.
44 come code 3, got one at gunpoint. He just sprayed me with lighter fluid.
The Kittitas County deputy got away before the DUI suspect could light the fuel. Police later found the suspect hiding in a nearby trailer. They took him into custody. Pierce County deputies were called to a McDonald's Monday night for a man sleeping behind the wheel in the drive-thru, and they got much more than they bargained for. Inside the man's car, deputies found 2 handguns, a 3D-printed assault-style rifle with a suppressor, along with a large quantity of fentanyl, cocaine, and meth. Pierce County Deputy Carly Capetto.
This was clearly and obviously a case of a drug dealer who is distributing in Pierce County with very large amounts of drugs and firearms.
The 39-year-old man was arrested for drug distribution. Seattle police are going undercover as 49ers fans. The move is to keep fans on both teams from getting out of hand at Sunday's Hawks game against San Francisco at Lumen Field. Former Seattle radio personality and current Bay Area resident Ryan Harris says it's the real 49ers fans you have to watch out for.
There's always fights and people getting beat up and hurt. It's a really rough and sometimes dangerous crowd.
Kickoff 1:05 p.m. Sunday. Big changes coming to Westlake Park ahead of the World Cup next summer. Seattle Parks and Rec says construction will begin next month to revamp that downtown space. It'll reopen in the spring with new amenities and a more open layout. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It's 63 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome, 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 and happy Fresh Friday to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe-Russell is in. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ursula.
Does it feel like the last day of summer? Just because with the kids back in school this week.
You had to remind me of that.
I know, right?
Oh, my God.
Hey, we are going to have an especially fresh show for you today. Coming up at 9:30, SeaTac Airport finally has some bragging rights, not just with shorter wait times, but also getting some fake Labubu's off the streets. So we're going to get into all of that. I look forward to that. Although in that segment coming up at 9:30, we're going to have some tough news as well if you are expecting some kind of compensation if you have some serious flight delays. So there's some changes in that. As always, we invite you to join us on our text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO. Let's get to it. Our top stories at 9, brought to you by Bathfitter Northwest. Washington could lose nearly 32,000 jobs by 2029 because of President Trump's Liberation Day tariffs. That is according to a brand new state report that estimates a $1.3 billion hole in workers' paychecks. Governor Bob Ferguson says if you add in higher grocery bills, which will be up more than 16%, they estimate, and an $8 billion loss for businesses. He says you have a recipe for pain, not prosperity.
If you spend $200 a week on your groceries, you'll be spending an extra $128 per month on those groceries as a result of these tariffs. We also predict a 7% spike in the cost of clothes and shoes in the next year, a 14% increase in natural gas prices, which of course push up utility bills, and an increase of 25% in the cost of used cars.
Not everyone's buying all of this. In a statement, GOP Chair Jim Walsh says this is just the governor's desperate attempt to distract attention away from his budget and policy failures. He says Ferguson signed an operating budget that spends too much. And he points to the $14 billion in new state taxes that he says aren't enough to cover his increased spending. And now he's trying to distract people from his failures by whining, Trump, Trump, Trump. He says, don't let Ferguson fool you. Now, the governor says Walsh's response is typical, Angela, but he says it doesn't change the facts.
He's not challenging the numbers. He's not saying this isn't real. He's not saying tariffs are good for businesses. If he does, have him come on down to Boon Boon Coffee Shop. I'd invite him to come on down. Maybe have a conversation with the folks in our grocery stores, or actually they're talking to the customers about what choices they're making in the meat they're purchasing. Maybe have those conversations. Easy to put out a press release and a statement. I get that. That's what he does. I get that. But look, as a governor and as leaders in our communities, right, we need to engage in reality.
Speaking of reality, I'll kick it off with this question. You listening, how are you feeling? What are you experiencing? What's happening at your work?
Yes.
What's happening with your business? What's happening at the store? I do love Ursula. I loved that segment you just did because You gave what the governor said. You talked about what the chair of the Republican Party said, and then it just had everything. It had everything in there. So thank you for covering all sides of this. And I was left feeling that two things can be true. We had a huge budget hole, as you know, that they had to fill, and it was this debate. We need to cut spending, which they did. There were a lot of nonprofits that got a huge haircut courtesy of the state. And there was a raising of taxes, which is no good. And we do have tariffs. That could be a good thing down the road, maybe for certain. I think the claim might be manufacturing.
Right. So some metal-related jobs that might benefit from all of this because it would be exempt. The thing, you nailed it. Both things can be true. What happened on a state level, those impact us absolutely when you talk about raising the gas tax.
Yep.
When we talk about all these other increases, all these fees that on our show we have talked about, that absolutely impacts you, in addition to the property tax increases, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This Office of Financial Management report, though, looking at the tariffs, it actually ties the 32,000 job losses and the $1.3 billion in lost wages directly to the tariffs.
Really?
So, yeah, we're already hurting. And I love your question. Like, what are you seeing right now? Just 2 nights ago, I felt fortunate to be able to buy, and I bring up teriyaki, but it's one of my favorite things to get. And
how much did it cost?
It was almost $20 for one meal. And then I noticed that, you know how you used to be able to get that meal and then spread it out over a couple of days?
Shrinkflation.
It is shrinkflation.
Listen. Okay, this is real. This is real. I'm getting less and paying more.
Yes,
and
we're all doing that.
I can tell you, listen, I'll tell you what's happening in my world. What I've noticed in my neighborhood is we've had a few people laid off, one under the threat of being laid off. It's definitely in the stores costing way more. And at the same time, feeling like you're getting less. This jobs report came out. Did you get a chance to look at that?
Yes.
This is national, National Jobs Report. I'm sure you've heard the headlines here on KIRO Radio. But they were saying, and this is what makes this ultra interesting, is that when we had the jobs report last month, President Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So this is the first jobs report since that firing. President Trump, I think, knew this was not going to be good. So he's saying a year from now is when the real jobs report will come out, is what he's saying. My only counter to that is, we always do the jobs report each month. Like, that's what we do each month. So if you want to just say that, hey, it's going to really stink for the next year, then maybe that's what he's trying to say.
Well,
I don't know.
And just keep it real instead of saying all these things you're going to notice lower this, lower that overnight or immediately. Now, nationwide, I know that gas prices have been going down. It's just, unfortunately, we're not feeling that here, right? Mm-hmm. So you can say, well, okay, that's an area where there has been some improvement. But the new jobs report says that this country added only 22,000 jobs in August, which was way below expectations. And unemployment is now up to 4.3%, which is the highest in nearly 4 years. And that, according to economists, is a sign that the labor market is cooling down.
Listen, I'm not a math expert by no means. But the math hasn't been mathing on our situation for many months now. You can't disrupt an economy with all of these raids and forced deportations and people because it is disrupting the economy. You can't do that. You can't lay off thousands and thousands and thousands, it might even be the hundreds of federal workers, and not expect an impact. You can't have AI, which is happening at this time, right? That's a major disruptor, and expect us not to have impact. And I could keep going with things related to inflation and high interest rates. It just doesn't add up before there's a problem.
Right. And so encourage all of you who are feeling the effects right now, or maybe you're not, and share that with us as well. Text line is 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Angela, I shared yesterday that someone I love very much, I didn't want to disclose specifics, but I think there are a lot of people who are also fearful of leaving a job right now that they really dislike or that is basically taking advantage of them because the fear of, can I land another job?
Right.
I mean, so it's not just people who are trying to find work, but there are also people who would like to switch jobs but are feeling stuck.
Yeah. There's one, absolutely. And there's one bright spot I can see is we may get that interest rate cut.
Yes.
Now.
Exactly. They are talking about that. So we'll find that out soon enough. A former Alaska Airlines pilot who tried to shut down the engines mid-flight is now cutting a deal with state and federal prosecutors. Joseph Emerson's attorney says he wants to take responsibility and hopefully avoid more jail time. Now, back in October of 2023, Emerson was off duty, but he was riding in the cockpit of a Horizon Air flight from Everett to San Francisco when he grabbed the handles that could have killed the engines, and the crew was able to stop him, thankfully, and that plane did land safely in Portland. He was arrested on the spot. He spent a few weeks behind bars, but he was released in December of 2023 under some strict conditions. In an interview with CBS, he said he was in a dark place after he lost his best friend. He hadn't slept in more than 40 hours, and he thought he was dreaming.
Were you trying to crash that plane?
No, I had no intention of crashing an actual airplane. I wanted to wake up. I was convinced I wasn't going home to my wife and kids.
He also admitted that he took psychedelic mushrooms for the first time 2 days earlier.
I wish that I was self-aware to see how my behavior was affecting others and to not let it get to the point where I'm dealing with life by, let's try a psychedelic now. Who does that at 44 years old? Apparently I do.
Did you have a sense something wasn't right?
No, I had everything under control.
So, Angela, today he's expected to plead guilty to the federal charge and no contest to the state charges. And since his release, he has been required to stay away from airplanes, get mental health treatment, and not use any drugs and alcohol. He's launched a nonprofit that's focused on pilot mental health. But I ask you, like, if you're the judge, are you giving him more time behind bars, or you're thinking...
Oh, okay. So a couple of different issues here.
Yes.
I'm going to start with your initial question
Yes.
about behind bars.
Yes.
I have a huge... I am slowly developing a philosophy around incarceration and what is the purpose of it. Is the purpose of putting someone behind bars, obviously there's the punishment piece,
yes,
but it's the
and
idea that
rehab.
you're protecting the public by keeping someone away. I don't know if someone who doesn't have a criminal record, who isn't in immediate danger, a first-time offense, needs to necessarily go to be put in jail. In this case, I wouldn't be a proponent of that if I'm the judge. Now, this whole mental health thing, I do think we need to talk about pilot mental health. I think we need to talk about emergency responder mental health, all that stuff. But you know dang well, if you fly a plane, you have no business taking a psychedelic drug. Like that is not even, and I understand some people use those for mental health treatment, but that is there something going on? Okay.
No.
But I know some people use those for mental health treatments, but that should be under the supervision of a doctor. This was, I just don't want it going under this mental health umbrella when it was a boneheaded decision when you are on the job and about to fly a plane. I don't know if it was 24 hours before taking a psychedelic. It was poor judgment.
Yeah, well, it was horrible judgment, and you could say, yeah, he was not actually flying the plane, but he was on that plane. He knew what he was doing. I mean, he claims. I just think that I feel like he's getting special treatment.
Yes,
and I feel like, and so there's a part of me that says, yeah, he may not be a threat to the public now, but I feel like there should be an additional punishment. Getting a couple of weeks for something that anyone else could face federal prison for up to 20 years.
Yeah,
Who gets the benefit of the doubt with an insanity plea? Which is essentially what he said this whole time.
Yes.
I was out of my mind. I didn't know what the levers did.
Right.
I thought it was going to wake me up.
But he knew exactly what to do that could jeopardize the lives of dozens of people who were on that plane.
I love what Michael said. If someone tried to bomb a nightclub with 80 people in it and failed and said, oh, I just thought I was in a dream and I was on drugs, how do you think we would handle that situation?
Exactly.
Here's the problem. I feel like when people have certain professions and a certain income, we give them more grace, more benefit of the doubt, all of those things. And listen, me saying that I don't think he should go to jail is not saying that he shouldn't be punished. I think losing his career, having the fines, having other ways is a form of punishment.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I am in a total agreement with these people in that we tend to treat folks in certain professions with soft gloves. Let's look at the medical profession, for example. Oh my gosh, don't get me started on that. Whereas you have people that are maybe in fields that don't make as much money, similar thing, and they get the book thrown at them.
Yeah, that is true. And again, under the law, if someone tries to shut down the engine, which is essentially interfering with the flight crew, you could land in federal prison for up to 20 years or also face a huge fine. So it'll be interesting to see what the judge ends up doing in this particular situation. A Washington State Patrol trooper has now been charged in connection with a deadly crash that killed a 20-year-old Richland man. Prosecutors say 35-year-old Sarah Clayson faces one count of vehicular homicide while under the influence for that March 1st collision that killed motorcyclist Jose Sanchez on Highway 240. Investigators say she had spent nearly 4 hours at a Richland bar before that crash, and she was driving home in her Kia when she turned into his path. This is an excerpt of her 911 call.
There's definitely somebody injured, possibly fatality. I'm going to go check. Yeah. Let me know if they're breathing. Yeah, we have no pulse on I believe, a pedestrian.
A Richland police investigator asked her to do a field sobriety test and breathalyzer, but she refused.
So I'm just going to run you through some voluntary field sobriety tests if you're willing to, okay?
Yeah, I don't think I want to do any.
Okay, all right. What about the PBT? You willing to do a voluntary PBT?
I don't want to do any tests based on the
okay, understood.
So, Angela, she's still on paid leave. She's going to be in court September 24th for her arraignment, but for now, she's not going to be held in jail.
I have questions about this. So have we gotten the blood test yet?
No, we have not gotten the results of it yet.
Okay, the results.
And I know that every time we bring this up, they always say, "Well, it's backlogged. It takes a long time. It can take months." I mean, and I hear that that's not.
I've seen folks when they pass, yes, I've seen it take forever. But when it comes to these crimes and DUIs, they can usually turn those around
with someone who died in this particular. Yeah.
Yes.
So it does raise questions as to, okay, is this person once again, because of her profession, getting special treatment?
The 911 call, what was your take on how she sounded?
Well, I thought she sounded intoxicated. I mean, and again, she sounded under the influence, but yet she also knew, because of her profession, that it would behoove her to not do the field sobriety test.
Right. So where is this left now? We're still waiting on the test results.
Yes.
And
so she's got a September 24th arraignment. But, I mean, it just was such a horrific situation. And just a reminder again, for anybody, just if you're going to drink or do anything, don't get behind the wheel.
It's not worth it.
It's so not worth it. Okay, we're hearing the music, and I wanted to introduce reporter Corwin Hake, but we're gonna hold this over, and we're gonna do this coming up at 9:30. Because did you hear about this new thing, Seahawks game?
Oh, I did hear about this.
Okay, and
yes, undercover cops in the opponent's uniform.
Yeah, so I have some questions about that. And then I also found out this is not new, yet we're acting like it is really new.
I thought it was new.
No.
So the more you know.
Okay, so Corwin Hake is going to join us coming up right after this.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Hey there, Dawn Reiling from Olympic Hot Tub. It's fair season, but the absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a deal that's truly untoppable. A Lux Smart Top hardcover included for free. Wow! Up to $4,500 off the best tub you can own. And it's only at Olympic till September 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
The $7,500 EV tax credit expires on September 30th, so head to Carter Volkswagen, Subaru, or Acura today. Discover their great selection, discounts, and financing offers now on the 2025 ID4 or the all-new ID Buzz from Carter Volkswagen, the 2025 Solterra from Carter Subaru, and the 2025 Acura ZDX at Carter Acura. The tax credit is ending soon, so hurry into Carter Motors or visit them at carterseattle.com.
Offer on lease vehicles only. Not all buyers will qualify. See store for details.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hello, sunshine. And while you're out and about in the summer sun, make sure your bank accounts can keep up with you. Free checking with WaFd Bank can do that, and much more. No more worrying about minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees. And WaFd has thousands of fee-free ATMs and more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states. Plus, WaFd Bank offers new tools like voice-activated banking so you can check your balance and make transfers between your WaFd accounts using just your voice. You can do your banking while you're planting those spring flowers. You also have access to free tools like online and mobile banking, bill pay, person-to-person payments with Zelle, mobile check deposit, and full control over your debit cards to turn them on or off should they get misplaced. And you can choose from some pretty great-looking debit cards, including the Seattle Kraken and the Seawolves. So visit wafdbank.com to open your account today and find out why they were awarded Best Bank by Newsweek 3 years in a row. Non-sufficient funds charge may apply. WaFd Bank, member FDIC.
Care Partners Senior Living is growing. Amanda here. We are very excited to introduce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, and North Creek Bothell, bringing compassionate, quality care at an affordable price, closer to more of you. Visit carepartnersliving.com today.
Meet Sarah. She tried one of those online weight loss programs, filled out a form, got a prescription, and a few weeks later, she felt dizzy, weak, and frustrated. No one was checking in. No one was making sure the plan was safe for her body. That's when she turned to Longevity Medical Clinics. Our medically supervised GLP-1 program helped Sarah lose weight safely, while we monitored her progress every step of the way. Today, she feels healthier, stronger, and more confident than ever. At Longevity Medical Clinics, we believe weight loss isn't just about dropping pounds. It's about restoring your health with real doctors, real monitoring, and a plan that works for your body. If you're serious about losing weight, and you want to do it the right way, Longevity Medical Clinic is here to help. Call Longevity Medical Clinics today at 866-86-YOUNG or visit longevitymedicalclinic.com for your free health analysis. Longevity Medical Clinics. Safe, supported, life-changing. longevitymedicalclinic.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A former Alaska Airlines pilot is expected to enter pleas in court today for allegedly trying to shut off the engines of an airplane in mid-flight nearly 2 years ago. Joseph David Emerson admitting,
It's the most consequential 3 seconds of my life.
He told police he was depressed and had consumed hallucinogenic mushrooms 48 hours before the flight to Everett. Investigators say he was off duty but in the cockpit and reached for the cutoff valves. He's expected to plead guilty in federal court to interfering with a flight crew. In Oregon State Court, he'll plead no contest to endangering an aircraft and 83 misdemeanor counts of reckless endangerment. A Pakistani native who was arrested when he turned up for a citizenship interview in Tukwila is now being deported.
I don't know right now when, if ever, I will see my husband again.
Mohammed Zahid Chowdhury's wife told me he's a disabled U.S. military veteran who's lived in the U.S. for 25 years. Homeland Security says Chowdhury has a criminal past in Australia, which he lied about in order to obtain a green card here. Federal agents have arrested 475 undocumented immigrants working for Hyundai in southern Georgia. Special Agent Steve Schrenk.
This, in fact, was the largest single-site enforcement operation in the history of Homeland Security investigations.
The workers, many of them Korean nationals, were helping to build a new electric vehicle battery plant at Hyundai's huge complex near Savannah. One day after Washington, U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell said this to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
You're so wrong on your facts.
You're interrupting me. And, sir, you're a charlatan. That's what you are.
Washington State makes good on its promise to offer its own vaccine guidelines on the advice of leading medical associations. Kennedy's federal agency is only recommending COVID-19 shots to seniors. The Washington State Health Department today issued a standing order to make the shots available without a prescription to most residents 6 months and older. The August employment picture, not a great one. The government says the economy added just 22,000 jobs. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
It shows a slowing labor market. We added 22,000 jobs in August. That was versus what we expected to be 80,000. What I want to say is it's 4 months of slowdown. It is not great, but we are not in a recession.
Still, Wall Street does not like this. The Dow is down 261 points. NASDAQ off 56. Lori is at the KIRO Newsradio Traffic Center.
Traffic is brought to you by AAA. Both directions of State Route 203 right now at 324th. Traffic is alternating directions because of some road work. Redmond to Seattle right now, a 14-minute drive. If you take 520, 22 minutes on I-90. Everett to Seattle, a 31-minute drive. And to Bellevue, also 31 minutes, no delays. Westbound US 2, we're looking at a speed limit drive. Tacoma to Seattle, 48 minutes, and Federal Way to Bellevue, we're looking at a 38-minute drive, just 1 minute delay. AAA Washington membership unlocks epic roadside rescues, hundreds of local perks and discounts, travel and insurance expertise, and somehow more. Join today. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine with highs in the low 80s. It's 63 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. We want to make a quick correction because in the last segment, we were talking about that trooper.
Yes.
Who is accused of driving under the influence, and you were asking about BAC results. And it turns out, yes, we do have them.
Yes.
And Nonstop Local is reporting that she had a BAC of 0.17, which is more than twice the legal limit. And that her blood was drawn over 4 hours after the crash. So you can make some conclusions from that. But obviously it would explain the seriousness of the charges.
Absolutely.
But, okay, speaking of people who might be under the influence. Word to the wise, Seahawks fans.
I love that transition,
Yes,
Ursula.
that 49ers jersey in the stands on Sunday might not belong to a rival. It could be an undercover cop. KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake joins us live now with details. Corwin.
Well, this is a policy that goes back to the Super Bowl days. We didn't notice this at first, but the Hawks tried this before to keep fans in line, to make sure they're not violating team behavior policies. They're having undercover police officers dressed up in the opposing team's jerseys and caps to blend in with the fans and make sure that's somehow supposed to keep them in line.
Okay, is this something that is unusual with this particular game?
No, they say they're going to do this for the whole season. We'll see. I mean, that's the claim, but it's particularly pertinent to this game. Because
the intense rivalry.
It is. Well, you remember some of those matches in the glory days, shall we call them? Richard Sherman batting away
that's one way
pass
to put
in
it.
the end zone, and weak receiver, don't send that stuff up against me.
Okay, well, I love you talked to somebody today who had their opinion, and it was a pretty sharp opinion, and I was hoping that you would share that with us.
It's a buddy of mine, and I'm trying to find the cut now, but he's Ryan Harris. He's an old, I shouldn't say old, he's...
Seasoned.
That's okay.
He's your age.
It's okay.
He's our
Seasoned.
age. He's a seasoned Seattle radio reporter, but he's from the Bay Area. He's now living back in the Bay Area, and but he's not a Niners fan. Used to be, but now he has a very trenchant remark about Niners fans. Boy, I can't find the cut here, but
I hate it when it happens. Like,
okay.
I know I have it here.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
We'll find it in a minute.
We'll
Let me just clear. So someone texted in and said, well, why don't they dress as Seahawks fans? Why are they just trying to go after... Because by dressing as a Niners, you're essentially bait for folks who do the wrong thing. So why not?
It's a great question. Is it so that if a Hawks fan has an issue with what appears to be a Niners fan, if they pour a beer over the guy's head, they're in trouble? Or is it really for other Niners fans? To help keep them in line? It's really unclear to me. And but it is interesting that they're expecting potentially more Niners fans at this game than 12s. This comes from a ticket reseller named Vivid Seats. They have a proprietary algorithm, I can barely say those two words, that says that 53% of the fans at Lumen Field this Sunday will be Niners fans.
That's huge.
It is. Okay, now, Angela, I know you said I love this idea. Okay, even though we were just finding about it, it's been around.
Because
but you love this idea.
The last few times I've been to Seahawks games, I love going to sporting events. And I would say at the Seahawks games, I've seen the worst behavior. The worst behavior from just, I had someone attempt to kind of, okay, let me just say what happened. But basically, I've had drunken fans try to go after my daughter. The last time I was there was someone just using horrible language. And I completely get that when you're at a game, you're going to say a curse word. But this was next level. This was just next level. And so those are just my few incidents. I can only imagine how, that was the game where we saw some Seahawks fans. There were women beating up on their spouse or their partner they were with. Oh. That was, I don't know if you were at work that day. I was here with Gee, and he and I were both at the Seahawks game, and each witnessed a woman attacking a man. And so I guess what I'm saying, it's like folks gone wild at these games. And if I go to, let's say, a Storm game or some other professional sports games, I don't see this kind of behavior. So I like the idea of going undercover to stop this.
Especially at this game. Can I play what my pal Ryan had to say about Niners fans?
I'll say they're thugs. 49ers fans are thugs. You go to the game and you have to watch yourself even just trying to use the restroom because there's always fights and people getting beat up and hurt. It's a really rough and sometimes dangerous crowd.
Now, is that an overstatement? Or this is kind of the same thing that I always hear when Ducks fans are talked about here at Husky Stadium. They're the worst.
It's such a loaded word, thugs. And I think any sports fan in the right environment could probably get tagged with thug, but he seems to feel this is somehow unique to Niners fans. I don't know.
Okay, and do we know like how many undercover officers they may be at any given time, given that the SPD is pretty stretched thin?
Yeah, well, understand. Well, these are off-duty officers picking up extra money, as we know, but I think they're keeping it pretty close to the vest. Exactly how many officers in the Niners gear might be roaming the stands?
Someone made a really good point, and I did worry about this. They're concerned that some officers may try to bait people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a concern or a risk, I would say, unless they plan to still have their body cams on.
Yeah, this, hey, I'm a Niners fan, and kind of...
You could talk trash or say something to provoke, and, that is a risk. That's a concern. That would be an argument for maybe just having your uniform on. Because I will give SPD this credit. When I saw the woman attacking the man at the game, police were there within seconds.
Oh,
I
good.
mean, they were on it in seconds. And
Yeah.
it was the same for the situation that G saw. So.
And I'll say this in fairness to the credit of Seattle police, they don't want trouble. They don't want to start trouble. They don't want to see trouble. They just want to hang out and probably watch the game.
Exactly. Give these folks a break.
And this game on Sunday, I mean, for a number of reasons, there's a lot of interest in it. And you saying that there's a potential that there could be more Niners fans than 12s? Come on,
53%. 53%, you said.
That's what this ticket reseller, let's face it, and I want to say a word about the Hawks fans who are selling their tickets to Niners fans. I mean, come on.
Really, right?
You're part of the problem.
I mean,
are they part of the problem, or is it the fact that season tickets increase 12% year over year and are many thousands of dollars to purchase? So people need to recoup some of that money if they hope to keep their season tickets.
You're going to sell off the Niners game? Really?
I'm not a season ticket holder.
Well, Corwin, thank you. Okay, I want to take a second because, first of all, I want to welcome Corwin Hake. And I have admired your work for many, many, many years. You worked at a different station. But if anyone's thinking, Corwin Hake, why does that sound so familiar? Tim Hake's brother.
That's true.
Yes.
I hasten to add, he's my older brother.
And Tim Hake is one of the few people who has actually worked at KIRO Radio longer than I have.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so,
what I appreciate
awesome family.
is I came into work earlier this week. I think it was this week. And he came up to me and said hello and introduced himself. And that's always nice.
Yes.
And I should have done that for you. I hope I said hello at least.
Well, Corwin, thank you so much.
That's very kind. Thank you.
Okay, still ahead. Angela, you went to school and saw something.
Yes,
as your kid went back to school, you saw something really exciting.
Yes, a lot of folks have kids back in school, and so you have your curriculum night, so your back to school night where you get to meet the teachers. And they have this new phone policy, and the verdict is in. And I'm excited to tell you what the teachers are saying.
We'll have that next here on the Gee and Ursula Show with Angela Poe Russell.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO News Radio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM, powered by mynorthwest.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Your new beginning starts now.
D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign. And so I saw the accident coming and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Hey everyone, Hartley Wilcox here. And I'm Charlie Wilcox from Wilcox Family Farms. Our family's been raising hens and gathering fresh eggs right here for over 100 years.
That's right. Our hens roam free on green pastures, soaking up the sunshine and living their best chicken lives.
We don't do shortcuts. No cages, no chemicals, just honest-to-goodness eggs laid fresh every day.
And when you buy Wilcox eggs, you're not just getting breakfast. You're supporting local farmers like us, clean food, and a family that's been doing it right for generations.
So next time you're at the grocery store,
skip the out-of-state eggs and grab the ones with our name on them.
Wilcox Family Farms. Fresh, local, trusted. Find fresh Wilcox eggs at Costco, Hagen's, or Whole Foods. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings, departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
It is 9:48. You're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show with Angela Poe Russell in for G today. And you had a chance to go to school and see something very positive.
Yes, I'll start with my personal experience, then we'll broaden out this discussion.
Yeah.
So my daughter's school, it's high school and a private Catholic school. Yesterday, they just said, okay, you need to put your phones away, put them in the backpack, and still didn't see the kind of change they wanted. So this year, they have what students are calling cell phone jail. and so I've already heard the complaints. And so you walk in and, you put the phone in a pouch and that's where it stays. Well, I'm just at the school to hear from teachers about curriculum, but several of them were like, by the way, this new cell phone policy is amazing. They're noticing a difference in engagement. Students are talking to each other. They're focused on their assignments. You could see the excitement in their entire face. Like they were just elated by this.
Love it.
It's awesome.
My question is, why did it take so long?
I know.
Right?
And honestly, I didn't realize how many states have, I think it's 77% of the country is already on board with some type of restricted use. And I did not realize that New York went as far as to say, like, and made it state law.
Mm-hmm.
They made it state law to restrict the cell phone. And what we're hearing from them, from teachers, they said the lunchroom is louder. Kids are talking before they just be buried in their phones, so they're hearing a buzz in the lunchroom. And,
I love that. But just in terms of the classroom itself, I know that in my time working on a school board that we would hear of these situations where the kids, you can't get their attention in class. And already, you know, if you're talking about high school and how tired they are and how overscheduled they are, and then on top of that, they have the cell phone as a distraction, or the cell phone is now used to record something, and then that gets shared in the classroom and you know, used for whether it's bullying, whatever.
It creates a host of other problems.
Exactly. And I love that right now, 3/4 of all Washington school districts have a cell phone restriction policy in place for this current school year, which is, again, and only a third require the devices to be put away all day. But, I mean, we're talking about close to 300 school districts. 3/4 of them have now put some kind of cell phone policy in place.
As for why this wasn't put in place longer ago, because this is going to be one of those things we look back and say, what were we thinking?
Yes.
But was an active debate at the time was, what if a school shooting?
Oh, I know.
What if a school shooting? And so much of our attention and so much of our resources go towards thinking that about that very remote possibility. I mean, we had a conversation just 2 days ago with Charlie about lower test scores in school,
like,
pandemic, hangover, etc. But it's like, if you have a child with a cell phone in their pocket, even if they are not engaged with that cell phone, you are distracted by it. You
So
feel
true.
the anxiety to check it. You know, every 2 minutes, your brain's, what's going on with phone?
Research
and
actually
that's if you don't have the notifications on.
Research actually shows that just having it near you, you are more productive if it is just in a different room.
Yes.
It's something about it being near you that, as you were saying, Chef, that makes it really difficult.
But think of us as adults. When you even have 1 minute of free time, what are you doing?
I check my phone.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
so what do you think your child is doing?
Exactly. I think they're feeling the same thing and even worse. And I love, Chef, that you brought up the emergencies, because there's actually some credible research that talks about the cell phones actually being a problem during a school shooting.
Because they're ringing?
Well, no, it's because it's jamming emergency because everyone starts using. But the other big one, they say, is parents start showing up while they're trying to respond to the emergency, and actually can inhibit the emergency response with everyone starts showing up before it's been addressed.
Now, I do understand the sentiment, though. If something like that were happening in my child's school, I know that my natural reaction would be, I want to hear my child's voice.
Of course. But if you know that they'll be safer by letting the emergency crews do what they need to do.
Yes. And if you need to get a hold of your student in an emergency, you still will have that ability. I mean, in many cases, the policy is you need to leave them, in the classroom, but I mean, they're going to be close by in the event that you would need to be reached, for example.
Yeah.
And I love this, and I love that you're seeing that there is a school in real time saying, we already notice a huge difference.
Yes. I think that you all are right. Several years from now, we're going to look back and say, why didn't we do this sooner? And I'll also tell you the other reason. I get really, okay, y'all, this is one of those sweeping statements where some of y'all are going to hate me, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree. I get very frustrated by some of the parents that have resisted this, because some parents have been part of the problem. And it hasn't always been about that one emergency. I don't know if it's about control. I don't know what it's about, but I know a few. I see you, and we're still good. But I am a little angry at you because
it's an umbilical
harming
cord,
them.
right?
It's
Like
harming
you can,
them.
mom, dad can be connected to the child at all times, and giving up that sense of control or just connection, feels like you're losing something,
And do you
right?
know what they say to me when I make the argument? They say, well, they're teens. They're going to have to learn how to manage this as they get older. And I'm
Trust
like,
me, they have
their
many
brains-
opportunities.
You can't manage it, Janice. Come on.
Janice.
Expecting my
Not Cletus
16-year-old
now, it's
to
Janice.
go up against these techies that designed it to be addictive.
They got to learn
Oh
how
my
to quit
gosh.
smoking eventually, don't they?
Well-
Might as well give it to them during school.
But we're good. Parents, if we're on the other side, that's okay. You've heard how I feel.
Yes, there you go. I love it.
It's okay.
I love it. Well, text us. How do you feel? Love that I say this. Text us. Use your cell phone now. Text us. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And hello to all of you watching us on YouTube. We'll be back with more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up right after this.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey there, Dawn Riling from Olympic Hot Tub. It's fair season, but the absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a deal that's truly untoppable. A Lux Smart Top hardcover included for free. Wow! Up to $4,500 off the best tub you can own. And it's only at Olympic till September 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
And now, tales of another way. How long can one go on with the same scent of shower soap? Sure, sandalwood is your signature aura, but today you went tropical essence. Glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes another way is the better way, like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Tolling begins September 29th. Save $2 per toll with a Good-to-Go pass. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
It's G. Scott. School's back, and it's time to rally for the campaign to keep kids healthy. Donate at Safeway checkout to help families afford fresh fruits and veggies. With SNAP Produce Match, every dollar goes twice as far. Learn more at your neighborhood Safeway.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. 2 months after deadly flooding, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signs a new law designed to improve safety at youth camps in the state.
No parent should ever have to outlive their child or endure this kind of loss.
27 campers and counselors died in the flash flooding. CBS's Jason Allen.
New rules will prohibit cabins in flood zones, provide warning systems, require training for emergencies, and strengthen communications when there is no power or cell service.
A government memo obtained by CBS News says Homeland Security has asked for space for 250 federal agents at a military base in Illinois ahead of an expected immigration crackdown in Chicago. Opponents of it are speaking out.
We do not want ICE in our communities. They do not make me safer. Instead, they disrupt families, they break families, and they disappear my neighbors. We want them out.
And in Georgia, 475 people were detained after a raid at a Hyundai plant.
Most of them are Korean nationals.
We are sending a clear and unequivocal message that those who exploit our workforce, undermine our economy, and violate federal laws will be held accountable.
Stephen Schrank with Homeland Security says this comes after a multi-month investigation. He says some crossed the border illegally, some came through visa waiver and were prohibited from working, and others overstayed their visas. Most are held at an ICE facility in Georgia. Bill Caiaccio for CBS News, Atlanta.
White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett called the latest jobs numbers disappointing, but pointed to other positive signs.
All the indicators that we're seeing are that inflation is low and economic growth is solid. Income growth solid as well.
And the government says 22,000 jobs were created last month. CBS's Jill Schlesinger says a job slowdown could solidify a Fed move to lower interest rates.
The problem the Fed is going to have to struggle with is that they may have both things signaling that there should be action. Which one is more important may determine what the next path there will be for interest rates.
Well, CBS's Willie James Inman at the White House says President Trump today will trigger an effort to call the Defense Department the Department of War.
Internally, amongst officials within the U.S. government, they can refer to what we know as the Department of Defense or the Pentagon as the Department of War. It doesn't officially change the name of the department that was created in the mid-20th century by a law, essentially being passed by Congress.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 234. The S&P is down 30. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
A Washington state trooper charged with vehicular homicide 6 months after a deadly crash. The story coming up, but first, Lori is at the KIRO Newsradio Traffic Center.
Traffic is brought to you by Wilcox Family Farm Eggs. We have a collision. It's 512 right near 15th Avenue Southwest, and both lanes are blocked. Traffic is getting by on the shoulder. Thanks to Scott in Auburn, 167 still backed up from Muckleshoot Casino all the way to White River Amphitheater. Bellevue to Seattle, I-90, 11 minutes. Same with 520. And Linwood to Seattle right now, a 17-minute drive. 17 minutes Tacoma to Federal Way. North 5 still jamming up as you approach State Route 18. Federal Way to Seattle is 29 minutes. Federal Way to Bellevue, 36. Renton to Seattle, you're looking at an 18-minute drive. And to Bellevue, 24 minutes. That's just a 2-minute delay. Cage-free eggs are good, free-range are better, and mobile pasture-raised eggs are the best. Choose the best for your family, locally fresh Wilcox Family Farm Eggs. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. 6 months after a deadly crash in Richland, a Washington state trooper has been charged with 1 count of vehicular homicide. Body cam video showing 35-year-old Sarah Clayson refusing a breathalyzer at the scene.
So I'm just going to run you through some voluntary field sobriety tests if you're willing to, okay?
Yeah, I don't think I want to do any.
Investigators tell the Tri-City Herald Clayson was off duty and had a blood alcohol level of twice the legal limit when her car collided with a motorcycle, killing the 20-year-old biker. Lakewood police have released video of an attempted kidnapping at a bikini barista stand. It shows a man lunging through a drive-through window, grabbing the barista's arm and trying to pull her out. She resists and he lets go. During an interview obtained by KIRO 7 TV, the suspect, 19-year-old Ezekiel Guerrero, told police,
It was a mistake. It was honestly, I didn't mean it. Like, that's not me, I promise.
He says he was drunk at the time. He faces attempted kidnapping charges. Seattle cops will be wearing 49ers jerseys Sunday when they patrol the stands at the Seahawks home opener, where Niners fans may just outnumber the 12s.
Ticket reseller Vivid Seats predicts 53% of those packing Lumen Field Sunday will be Niners fans. Ryan Harris, former Seattle News reporter and Bay Area native, says that could spell trouble.
49ers fans are thugs. You go to the game and you have to watch yourself even just trying to use the restroom.
He calls the move to disguise officers as Niners fans brilliant and exactly what's needed to help make the game a better experience for fans. Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
A wildfire sparked by lightning Sunday has grown by nearly 1,000 acres in one day. The Sugarloaf fire's burning on about 25 miles northeast of Leavenworth. Mario Martinez tells me he watched as the fire surged earlier.
You could just see the whole sky was just like glowing red when it really caught fire.
The wildfire has now torched 7,100 acres. Level 3 get out now evacuations are in effect for parts of the town of Ardenvor. A new state report says grocery prices could jump 16% over the next 2 years if President Trump's tariffs go through. Governor Bob Ferguson sharing the findings Thursday at a food bank in Seattle. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It's 63 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It is a fresh Friday, and we welcome you to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Ursula.
So already got the first hour down, and we have another very packed hour for you. Coming up at 10:30, we're going to do our Hell to the Now.
So this is a new segment, so fill me in. I'm new to the hell to, it's hell to the now.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell
yeah,
to the
basically, now.
Head to the now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Basically, it's stories that you're like, no.
Okay.
This doesn't work. So we're going to have a little fun with it. We're going to kind of massage that a little bit and see if we can do that.
Okay,
yes,
love
exactly. So that's coming up at 10:30. But right now,
What's new at 10?
and we have a special guest. So I want to get right to her because maybe you think the hardest housework is what you can actually see. We often complain about things like laundry and doing the dishes, et cetera, et cetera. But the real burnout is coming from what you don't see. It's called invisible labor, and our very own Katrina Gashard is here to explain. So tell us about this.
Okay. I mean, we are all wives. We got a husband here. We are moms. Okay, this invisible labor, let's talk about it. It's planning doctor's appointments. Who's picking up and dropping off your kids? Who's getting them from their sports? The list goes on. So a new study came out saying that 71% of family-related tasks, women are handling all of this, not the men. Ooh. And it's driving people crazy. So this mom turned to social media to talk about this invisible labor and the very real struggle that she's up against.
Whenever I talk about the mental load, men will say things like, oh, that's not real. It's made up. It's just women overcomplicating things. It's just your anxiety. But when I ask women, the overwhelming majority of them will say that the mental load is crippling. It is exhausting. It is never ending, that their brain never turns off.
All right, so let's balance this with an actual professional, right? So a psychiatrist, Dr. Sue Varma, spoke with CBS just to unpack all of this, and she actually encourages partners, sit down, talk about exactly who's going to do what, and don't diminish what your partner, particularly the women, are doing for your home.
Women, when they don't talk about their feelings, we found in a study of a few 100,000 women, they looked at they're 4 times more likely to die during the course of the study by not expressing their feelings. So you simply showing up and saying, talk to me about what you're experiencing, which is stressed out, burdened, unseen, undervalued, underappreciated, especially for the moms whose predominant role is caregiving. They feel as if just because I'm not bringing in income, you don't see me, you don't value me.
This is huge, guys.
Wow.
I just want to say I feel so validated.
I was going to say
these
validation.
are the exact conversations I've been having with my ex because it was so bad. I wanted to do a Google calendar to show like all these invisible things that I'm doing that you have no idea is taking place. No idea. I mean, I think, Chef, you mentioned this morning, like thinking about and oh gosh, where do I start? There are just all these tasks that it's summer camps. It's, yes, who's getting picked up? It's, oh gosh, do you have what you need for this? I mean, it's hard to capture it and write it down, but it's this constant, like I'm playing whack-a-mole with life.
And one of the things that I heard loud and clear was this idea of validating it and not trying to diminish it and not trying to say, that doesn't count. It doesn't bring in an income. I love what Tom just texted in and said, my wife was never paid enough no matter how much I made for what she did for our family. And I think a lot of times it's just recognizing that your partner, in my case, because I worked so much here, I'll be honest, during our kids' younger years, it was my husband that took the brunt of a lot of it. I always handled the emotional side of things and figuring out that part of helping our kids emotionally with what little time that I had. But all the logistical things, I will give him credit for. And
So he did logistical things like meeting with the teacher.
Well, we both did. We both
planning
did
birthday
that.
parties,
Planning birthday parties,
Christmas presents.
Okay, yeah, those were mine. But planning doctor's appointments, absolutely, he would take a lot of it. So I'm in an unusual position in that sense, but I hear what you're saying. So what are some of the great tips, Katrina?
I think it's playing to your strengths. So, and not to make this like super gender based, but I mean, do what works for your family.
Yeah.
So if you are a masterful organizer and planner, then go for it and handle that. But if you have a partner who is like, you know what, I'm good with finances, like my husband. So I don't worry about paying bills, what's coming in, what's due. Like he's got that. Taking out the garbage, making sure our cars are serviced, that's all him. Like, do we need a roof repair? He's got that. So do what works for you guys. And also validation is huge because some women are saying like, you know, well, like he doesn't value me or like I'm not bringing in a paycheck, so it doesn't matter. It does matter because these are the things that keep households running smoothly.
Yeah, I can tell you it's literally a part-time job. And I just want to clarify because I wasn't, because someone was like, what's your ex thinking? Well, no, it was me speaking up and just communicating and trying to explain. And he completely listened to that. And I'm really fortunate to have a supportive crew around me. My husband tries to, and because, you know, we see each other every day, he realizes like how much I'm doing behind the scenes. But if you don't talk about it, like no one knows. There are all these just little things that don't show up on a.
Can I bring up one that I think a lot of people don't think of, and that's especially if you have young kids. I realized when my son was probably about 3.5 or 4, he would not have friends if it was not for my wife setting up the play dates and having started to do that. Like I have to get 8 dad's phone numbers to get maybe one play. It's like dating all over again. And, you know, maybe you'll get together for one play date, But to get that friend where there's actually a relationship going on, I've had to establish that through kids that he plays sports with. But a lot of parents come into that stuff cold. When your kid's just going into school, they're not in activities, you don't know any parents or families, and to form those social connections with other people, I mean, it's 10, 15 minutes every time that you go pick up your kid. Like,
so true.
I'm going to talk to the teacher, get to know what's going on here. I'm going to talk to the other parents, ask them what's going on with their kid in their life. Hey, can I get your number? There's a birthday party coming up soon. You should come.
Yeah, you have to be super intentional about it. I've got 2 toddlers, a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old. So I totally hear you on the play date thing. I think it's key that you talk to your wife and you figure out like, hey, like I've got this, so don't worry about it. I can handle that. So that way you know what's going on. Sharing a calendar, game changer for me and my husband. So like as I'm scheduling things, like, oh, okay, I see that. Okay, this is what we're doing on Sunday. This is what we got going on Saturday. So that way he is aware like, hey, like this has been booked.
That's a great idea because sometimes even now here on the radio, I struggle to try to explain how this is like a part-time job. But when I put it in my calendar, if I share that with everyone, they're able to see like, oh, wow, doing this, that. But Chef, thank you so much for also mentioning like just even what you said right now. Again, validation about how much work it takes, even the social aspect of being a parent with their friends.
Here's another one too. And we've talked about this on the show, when it comes to birthday parties or Christmas or events. And
who's doing the goodie bags?
Who's doing all
who's
of the
shopping for the goodie bags?
Who's buying all the gifts?
Who's baking the cookies?
Exactly. And at the end, remember, was it you, Chef, who said, oh, and then it's really sad that sometimes they forget that, okay, wait, how come mom doesn't have a stocking? Or how come mom doesn't have, like, oh, yeah, it's because no one thought about her.
So sad, but also so true.
It's true. Well, Katrina, thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you. Yes.
I want to bring up one more thing, though, before we get out of here. It is for why you should care about this type of labor, because sometimes it's hard to care about things that you don't see. There have been multiple studies, University of Alberta, Cornell, that find that couples who have equity within their household chores and that invisible labor have more physical intimacy together.
Ooh.
And the more a burden that one partner takes on, especially the woman, the more it kills her sex drive, because it builds up this resentment and this exhaustion that because I am taking care of everything, do I need to always take care of you too? And so building up equity actually helps bring you closer as a couple in ways I think that might be meaningful, especially to a lot of fellas out there.
Oh, for sure. I love seeing on social media. Like, yeah, I think the husband who's like, you know what, I'll mop the floors. I got the laundry. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, sure.
It's very attractive.
Yes, it is. Practicrat texted in and said, I am now the caregiver for my wife, and I can tell you that I have a newfound respect for her being a stay-at-home mom and raising our child and everything that went into that I did not see and I did not understand. I understand it now because you have a lot of the same things that you have to consider when you're a caregiver. And that is so true as well. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate that. Okay. How about another pain point in most of our lives? We're talking about the
travel.
airport.
Yes, travel. So we got 2 big stories.
Okay.
Let's see what the good news first or the bad news.
I always like to start with good news.
Okay, let's do good news. We talk about SeaTac and everyone's like, oh my God, it's a mess. But things are moving in a good direction. So a report from King 5, and I just want to be clear. Technically, SeaTac is called Sea.
SEA.
I am still, Angela is calling it SeaTac, but I cannot speak for KIRO Radio, who I'm sure would.
I think we speak in the way that we talk, and most people still say SeaTac. Sorry, Perry Cooper.
Got it. Okay, so because if I were to just say C has cut wait, the C,
SEA.
It's like.
Yeah.
All right. SeaTac has cut wait times at security checkpoints. This is despite having more travelers, Ursula. For example, airport officials reported average waits of 10 to 15 minutes over Labor Day with no line longer than 20 minutes. Year to date, 99% of passengers, they say, have cleared security in under 30 minutes compared to 94% and 80% in previous years. So how did this happen? Well, in July, TSA began allowing passengers to keep their shoes on during security checks. But also in June, the airport opened a new checkpoint with 5 additional security lanes.
Yes.
And then, so some more security lanes added. And then there's a pilot program from TSA that's helping with international travel. So are you feeling, it's one thing for me to report this, but are you feeling the difference when you're going through security?
So last weekend was supposed to be one of the busiest travel weekends of the entire year, right? And it was a breeze for me.
That's awesome.
So we went to Vegas and getting through. I do have TSA pre-check. I still don't have my real ID.
Yeah.
And I didn't bring my passport.
Oh,
I
you
know,
got through. You
but
must
I
have
was
given them
able
that
to-
laugh.
Yeah. Well, they were about to laugh at me, and they gave me on the way over there. It wasn't a problem in Vegas, but at SEA, at SeaTac, they gave me a little red thing that said, basically flagging me for not having real ID and saying, well, this could cause you more delays. It didn't. I think they just wanted to get people through.
Okay.
I had, my TSA pre-check. I had my Washington driver's license. By the way, I'm still trying to get an appointment. It's still anywhere in my vicinity. So if anyone has a tip for me, it still says no appointments available. This has been going on for months now.
Wow, that's crazy.
It is crazy. I cannot get, so I'm trying to get online, and I get it. I waited way too long. I do have a valid passport because I'm going to be leaving again here in a month or in a couple weeks. And I'm worried.
So definitely have your passport then.
Yes,
have your
I will
passport.
absolutely
you should be
have
fine.
my passport. But yes, I saw it was a breeze getting through SeaTac Airport.
Yeah, and I would say similar experience for me too. No, so I'm curious to hear yours. 888-973-5476. Okay, now the not so great news, at least as I see it. The Trump administration is scrapping a plan that would have forced airlines to compensate us for major disruptions. The rule was first introduced in 2023 and would have provided consumers between $200 and $775 cash, along with lodging and meals if the delay took place because of an airline system outage or a mechanical issue. Airlines in the U.S. have to issue refunds if flights are canceled, but they don't have to offer compensation if delays occur. Now, obviously, in practice, some airlines, if you're significantly delayed, will give you a hotel stay or a meal. But in other countries,
Not
like
easy.
in Europe, they have to give you money.
Oh, yeah.
You
they
file
do.
a claim and you get $600.
Yes.
If it was their fault in terms of like a mechanical issue with the plane, if
Yes.
it's something they can't control, that's different.
Well, when this passed, Gee and I were talking about how we loved it to have more passenger rights and basically giving the airlines more incentive to be on time and not just take advantage of passengers who are basically not having a whole lot of leverage. So to think that this is not going to be the case anymore, I mean, I can just see that it just means no more incentive for the airlines to do well.
It just feels like in this situation, if I'm in charge, you can decide to stand by business or you can decide to stand by and advocate for consumers. And I just feel like in this case, it was a vote for big business.
Yes.
And I get it. I want the airlines to be successful.
of course.
I want them to win because if they win, we all win. Totally get it.
Yes.
At the same time, we know some of these airlines have abused the
Absolutely.
situation.
Absolutely. And there's a good chance you listening right now have been in that situation where you have no recourse, even though it wasn't your fault that now it's a several hour delay or you can't make your connection or, whatever it is. And yeah, the idea that it almost feels like we're going backwards on that one.
Well, listen, regardless of what politicians say, we have to look at what they do. And this is one example where it wasn't for us. This wasn't for us.
Yeah, it feels like that for sure.
Yes.
Okay. But I want to go on record on September 5th. We said something really positive about SeaTac Airport.
Yes.
Because, man, especially Gee, he's really tough on SEA.
Is he?
Yeah.
I feel like it has been so much better in security. And every time I keep thinking it's a fluke. I was like, oh, this is a fluke. Like, it's just
It was quick this last time for me. My issue is still baggage claim.
Oh, baggage. Oh, gosh. Yeah, baggage.
It is a mess. And then also driving in and out of the airport.
That is a pain
mess.
Point. That is a pain point.
Yeah, for sure.
But we said something positive.
Yes, we did. So we're going to stay with the positive. Okay, hey, coming up at 10:30, we're going to do our Hell to the Now. I'm not saying it right. Hell to the Now.
Hell to the now.
Okay, yeah.
Now.
Okay, we'll do that coming up next. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read lips, right?
And Linley, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Say hi, Linley. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Piri, coming this October.
You don't look like police. I'll take that as a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owed the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588. 800-972-0588.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
And now, tales of another way. How long can one go on with the same scent of shower soap? Sure, sandalwood is your signature aura, but today you went tropical essence. Glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes another way is the better way, like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Tolling begins September 29th. Save $2 per toll with a Good-to-Go pass. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riling from Olympic Hot Tub.
It's fair season, but the absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a deal that's truly untoppable. A Lux Smart Top hardcover included for free. Wow! Up to $4,500 off the best tub you can own. And it's only at Olympic till September 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
At Carter Subaru, your drive begins with savings. With over 300 new vehicles in stock, shop your way, in-store or from home. Plus, when you buy from Carter, you support our community. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard today.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A former Alaska Airlines pilot accused of trying to shut off the engines of an airplane in mid-flight is expected to plead guilty in federal court today to interfering with a flight crew. He plans to plead no contest to Oregon state charges of endangering an aircraft and 83 misdemeanor counts of reckless endangerment. Investigators say Joseph David Emerson was off duty and hitching a flight home to Everett when he reached for the engine cutoff switches. He told CBS what was going through his head.
You're not going home. You need to wake up. And that's when I acted. And I pulled the handles that were in front of my face.
He later told police he had depression and had consumed hallucinogenic mushrooms 48 hours before the flight. A Pakistani native who was arrested when he turned up for a citizenship interview in Tukwila is now being deported. Mohammed Zahid Chowdhury's wife told me he's a disabled U.S. military veteran who's lived in the country for 25 years, and now
my family is torn in pieces and my soul is shredded, and I have to explain this to our two little children who don't know what happened to their baba.
Homeland Security says Chowdhury has a criminal past in Australia, which he lied about to obtain a green card in the U.S. Federal agents have arrested 475 undocumented immigrants. They were working for Hyundai in southern Georgia. The workers, many of them Korean nationals, were helping to build a new electric vehicle battery plant at Hyundai's huge complex near Havana. A government memo obtained by CBS News says Homeland Security has asked the Pentagon to make space for about 250 federal agents at a military base in Illinois. This is ahead of expected immigration roundups in Chicago. CBS's Darius Johnson reports.
How do you spell fascist? I-C-E!
Chanting can be heard outside the facility that the mayor of Broadview, Illinois, says will become the primary hub for federal immigration operations, running 7 days a week for at least 45 days. Activists call the conditions inside inhumane, pointing to reports of people being held here for days without beds, blankets, or basic hygiene.
Employers add just 22,000 jobs in August. That's down from 79,000 added in July. Is CBS's Jill Schlesinger.
I think when you put the last 3 or 4 months together, what we really do see is a labor market that's slowing down. We saw the unemployment rate tick up to 4.3%. That's the highest level in 4 years.
Yeah, Wall Street really does not like that. The Dow is down 286 points, NASDAQ off 48. Lori is at the KIRO Newsradio Traffic Center.
And traffic is brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. A collision cleared now, State Route 512. It was right about 15th Avenue Southwest. Still a little slow as you head past the scene. 164 backs up from 368th all the way to State Route 18 and Bellevue to Seattle, I-90 or 520, an 11-minute drive. Linwood to Seattle right now, 16 minutes, and to Bellevue, 17. Tacoma to Federal Way, we're looking at 14 minutes drive in North 5, still rolling pretty slow. just as you're approaching State Route 18. Federal Way to Seattle, 27 minutes. And then if you're heading to Bellevue, add a minute to 28 minutes. Renton to Seattle, 17, as well as Renton to Bellevue, both 17 minutes. Tired of uneven home heating and high energy bills? The Quilt ductless heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings. Visit homecomfortalliance.com. I'm Lori, KIRO, real-time traffic.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It's 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Hell no. Come on, wait till the no. Come on.
Oh, yeah. It is time for the return of Hell to the No.
Okay. Clearly, I've missed a few episodes of the Gee and Ursula Show. So this music is how new?
No, it's
an oldie but a goodie.
Exactly. And I think it fits this segment because we're going to talk about a couple of things here that make us scratch our heads. It's like, who could get $1 trillion raise?
Well, it's the future of currency. It's an unstoppable financial vehicle that's going to take over the world.
Do you recognize that voice?
Is that Elon?
That guy. Yes, that's Elon Musk.
Okay.
Tesla's board is asking investors to approve a pay package that would award Elon Musk up to 423 million more shares if Tesla hits certain milestones over the next decade. That means his stake could grow to $1 trillion, giving him control of 12% of the company and more voting power. And the chairman of Tesla's board says, we need to do this because we need to retain and incentivize Elon, which is fundamental to Tesla becoming the most valuable company in history. So the board is going to be asking shareholders whether Tesla should invest billions in Musk's AI research and development company. XAI. So, question is.
Hell no. No, just kidding. Stop. Is that how the game works?
Yes.
You can discuss it.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
And how does this work?
Well, just your reaction to it. I mean, it's. Who needs $1 trillion?
I definitely, my first reaction was the one that I just gave you, the name of your segment. I do, however, believe in the idea of incentivizing people for performance. Mm-hmm. I love that. I mean, yes, we should all do a good job, but there's something about someone saying, you know what, if you do this, Ursula, if you hit this milestone, I'm going to give you more. My question is, where are you in life if you're already a billionaire and it incentivizes you to do better if you get $1 trillion? Like,
it's something that you and I would never be able to fathom because it's never going to happen. Okay, I'm going to speak for myself. It's not going to happen in my lifetime. But yeah, I mean, what is that going to be enough, or is it going to be enough? Is it just enough to be able to say, I did it, and yeah, I am not just the world's richest man, but the world's richest man?
Shows how fundamentally broken they all are, that there is no such thing as enough. By the way, if you earned $1,000 a day, $1,000 a day, you know how long it'd take you to get to $1 trillion? It's about like 2.7 million years.
That's depressing.
And wouldn't you love to be able to make $1,000 a day? I mean, that would be lovely. Okay, so my question, because you bring up a good fundamental point, though, because I agree with you when it comes to incentivizing, and I think we all need to have different things that incentivize us, right? Or they're different goals, different benchmarks that you meet, and you get rewarded for it.
Yeah.
But at some point, like, there's got to be something else.
Like, when is there enough? Okay, so once I did have a job. It was anchoring the news.
Yes.
And I got a bonus if our ratings hit a certain mark.
Yeah, that's
standard. See, I didn't know it was a standard
that
thing.
Still happens.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I love that. It was like Christmas.
Yeah, that happened. I probably shouldn't talk about it, but that happens.
That's awesome.
Or it doesn't happen. Yes. Good. So that it is, but neither you nor I are at that level of you have more money than you know what to do with.
Yes, I did a Words to Live By when you were out the other day. And it was about how the greatest gift is when we get to a place spiritually where we want for nothing.
Isn't that the truth?
And so I don't know. I would just like to think at $1 billion, kind of like how some of the billionaires have done, where they're like, you know what, I'm just going to give some of this away.
Warren Buffett.
And they still have a ton of money.
Bill Gates. Yes, exactly. Okay, so coming soon to the South Lawn of the White House, not a concert, not a T-ball game, but is this right? UFC cage fight? What? The Wall Street Journal exclusively is reporting that President Trump has signed off on a full-blown mixed martial arts event next summer. Octagon cage, fireworks, all of it.
Who's paying for this?
Supporters are calling it bold. And detractors say it is undignified authoritarian theater. UFC boss Dana White says it'll be one of the greatest sports events in history, with weigh-ins at the Lincoln Memorial and fan fests on the National Mall. Are we sure that this is not
I'm not trolling.
fake
I'm not
news?
trolling you. No. I mean, he's at the UFC fights all the time with Dana White. Like, that's a regular mainstay event on the White House schedule.
Do we want a UFC cage fight at the South Lawn of the White House?
Are you saying that it's not ta-ta? It's a little...
You guys are so fancy.
I know.
Get in touch with what the people want.
I mean, is this just right there with the Easter egg hunt?
Well, I think what's concerning is, actually, I thought it was like wrestling where it's fake, but apparently UFC is real fighting.
Oh, no, that's
right?
bloody.
I mean, apparently. Where have you been for the last 20 years?
I'm sorry. I don't get into
I'm
it.
with you, though, Angela.
It kind of goes with like Department of War and UFC. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, if I were in office, and let's just play a game. If we were the mayor of the town or the president and we could have our own show, I might get some Broadway folks to come by and do a show for me, you know? Might have a little musical,
okay,
bring
so you're
the
going to
set.
give this one a pass.
But
instead of
no. I
Yeah.
think fighting is different. I think
I
Do you believe in decorum?
Yeah, I wish we wouldn't.
I think it's hell no.
doesn't-
I don't like fighting.
Well,
That's
it's
why.
not just the fighting; it's just this idea. I didn't like Teslas on the lawn either, and trying to make it like a car dealership.
But here's my
it feels
question,
like
though.
certain things should not be
a commercial?
Commercial.
Okay, wait. Here's a question. Now, presidents all the time host events, and they have
That's
singers
true.
and performers
That's
and
true.
all kinds of things. So
is
the
this the
question
same?
really is, how do we feel about UFC fights?
Yeah, I mean, I just guess the commercialization of the White House.
Got it.
And using it for purposes other. I don't know. It feels
It's
demeaning
more of a
to
feeling
me.
for you. It
yeah,
feels it's a feeling.
yeah.
Okay.
If they're going to
and
do
maybe-
that, can we get monster trucks like jumping the White House fence too? That'd be sweet.
It definitely is.
It feels cheapening. Like it cheapens the White House. And tell me, with past presidents, what are some examples of what past presidents have done?
Chris and Everett said a banjo jam with the spitting contest.
Yeah, and watermelon seeds.
Okay.
Hell to the no, to the no.
Okay, what about people paying $5,000 for sorority rush coaches? That is the headline from The Atlantic. What it costs to be a sorority girl.
Yeah, I'm going to go eat my chips.
Rush Week in the South has become so competitive. It is real. I've been seeing this on TikTok, this whole Bama Rush thing. Anyway, it's become so competitive that families are hiring professional coaches to prep daughters like they're auditioning for Broadway. And these coaches teach how to make small talk, what they need to wear, how to be popular, even how to show just the right touch of vulnerability. Up to $5,000. Okay, I'll keep it at this.
Hell no, to the no.
And you know, they're hiring designers for the dorms now, too. Okay, so in all seriousness though.
Oh, come on.
If these sororities are a way that people are able to climb the social ladder, is it worth it?
To pay the $5,000? I don't know. Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I had sons who, I mean, that whole rush thing, that is real. That's a tough way to start college for a lot of students. I will say that. And this pressure to try to get into what's the best house? What's the hot house?
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
You said it best, Angela.
Okay, still ahead, we do scenarios. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's almost over, but the heat is pressing on. If you've got battery trouble, stop by AutoZone for free battery testing. It may just need a charge, and we'll do that for free too. If you do need a battery, we've got options starting at just $89.99. And we'll recycle your old battery for free. Now that's a strong start. Don't miss the end of summer sale. Now at AutoZone until September 22nd.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Man, we got back from that break really quickly. And you know what time it is? It's time for scenarios.
Here we go, yo. So
Hey, y'all. My girlfriend and I recently got one of these Axela smart devices in our homes. I'm calling it that so it doesn't set off people's Amazon devices.
I gotcha. Okay.
And suddenly it knows way too much about me. One night it randomly announced, reminder, don't forget the ring hidden in the sock drawer. I haven't proposed about it, or I haven't proposed yet. When I asked her about it, she admitted she's been programming the device with secret notes to me, about me, and sometimes for me. She thinks it's cute, but I feel like I'm being gaslit by a robot. Am I overreacting, or is this a red flag?
Okay, can you just clarify one thing?
Yes.
This is the girlfriend that was doing this, or the
girlfriend's providing instructions
to the device?
Reminders, telling the device about him. They live together.
And then his question to us is
that a huge red flag, or is it something that I'm overreacting about?
Listen to your feelings. I think.
Well, he's questioning his feelings.
No, he should not. He should not question his feelings. I don't think it's one thing if it's done one time as a joke and you guys laugh about it and move on. But if this is happening more than once, this is manipulative.
Yes.
And just weird. And I think that he should probably start connecting some dots there.
And
really?
Because when something happens, it's never just one thing. So if she is doing this, there's other stuff that she's done, and he just needs to dig a little deeper and think. I promise you there's other stuff.
I agree. And it sounds like they have a communication problem, which is so often the case in these scenarios, because if her hints are that she is interested in taking the relationship to the next level, have that conversation instead of doing it passively aggressively through Axela. I needed to pause on that one because it sounded a lot like my name.
Yes.
Which, by the way, is so strange anymore. I saw on my a social media platform, actually, it was on Facebook, I saw an ad that was geared toward me using actually my name. And then people responding, it was for a shirt that had a slogan with my name on it. And I thought, I know this has to be geared toward me versus, and if you were to look at the same thing, the shirt would say Angela. But the crazy thing is I get on there and every Ursula probably in the entire country was responding to it like, oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. I didn't realize so many people
had the name Ursula. That is so
it's
funny.
like those, like you go to the gift shop and they have all the keychains that have different people's names, but for the social media era.
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you then, ladies, what is the appropriate way to remind your significant other that you want to be proposed to? Because I don't see this as being much different, this happening once, don't forget the ring, than what people already do. You know, hey, I know we talked about maybe a Thanksgiving proposal, or, hey, when are you going to propose? Wink, wink. But actually inside.
Marriage where you have to beg the person to propose to you.
You never bring it up.
No, I'm not saying you don't bring it up.
6
I'm
years.
saying you have a conversation. But if it's one of those things where like every 6 months you're having the conversation, you probably should just like move on.
Thank you.
If that's what you want.
1,000%. I was going to just make a sweeping statement about this. If you have to make more than, let's say, 2 or 3 references to it, and start hinting around like that, and this has been now a reasonable amount of time, that person is just not that into you. It's not going to happen.
Yes.
What if you get the breakup proposal then? Right? Okay, I've given you an ultimatum, or I've asked you about this multiple times. I'm moving on. Then the other person realizes, oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss you so much. Actually, you know what? We should get married. I mean, do you trust that? Because this does happen, where a couple will, the guy gets an ultimatum. He's been dragging his feet. She's like, fine, it had it.
I've seen those relationships work. They're still together.
Yes.
I don't know if you like that.
It does happen, but I think at some point, and you know when you keep bringing it up and it becomes a sore spot and everybody's asking about it.
It's ick.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it puts a dagger into that relationship.
Yeah, I agree. One thing I want to add, if he decides he doesn't want to say bye-bye to this relationship, then he can do what my husband did and I don't know where. What's her name? What's Axela?
Axela.
I don't know where Axela is. Axela just disappeared one day.
Oh,
Vic,
that's funny.
where's Axela?
Axel's hiding in the corner staring at you right now. But to each their own on how much assistance they want in their lives from others, whether from parents or partners. Some like extra help, others want none at all. And it doesn't seem like this was asked for in the first place. So I wouldn't be sitting pretty as the lady thinking her own personal Axela is going to solve all their problems.
Don't you worry about a thing.
If I'm the dude hearing this thing tell me reminders about my life schedule, I didn't tell it, I'm getting my Axela out of this relationship as soon as possible.
Exactly. Nick,
Oh
you
my
nailed
gosh.
it.
You know what I want to do with one of these things?
What's that?
They need to get smarter so that they can be like a third wheel and you're having a heated discussion and all of a sudden it just pipes in. You're sounding rather unreasonable. It sounds like he's right.
Now would be
here's
a
the
good
crazy
use.
thing. We're not far from that.
We're not.
Do we really want that?
It sounds
Anymore?
like we're
Think
both approaching the red zone. Perhaps we'd like to take a break.
206
Yes!
texted in, though, and said, no one wants a shut up ring. This is correct.
Ooh.
That's the other thing,
I didn't know
too.
that was called.
Like, I don't want it because it was an ultimatum. I think, again, I mean, and it's been a long time since I've been in the whole dating situation, but if you're dragging it out, it's either not meant to happen or it's just going to spoil things.
Yeah.
If you just keep waiting and waiting. Okay, still ahead, we will be doing Agree to Disagree. We have a bunch of great segment topics coming up in the 11 o'clock hour, including the first mayoral debate and what happened there, and then the accused thief when it comes to a bunch of really high-profile people,
robberies,
including
yes.
Macklemore, and what happened in court. So we'll get into all of that coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show with Angela Poe Russell.
But you're the only one who see the changes you take yourself through. But don't you worry about a thing.
The Northwest's trusted news source, KIRO Newsradio.
Police in Federal Way are investigating what appears to be a car explosion.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is live from the neighborhood.
I can't tell you enough how crazy this scene is here.
Coverage you depend on.
A massive police presence in Kent.
From voices you know and trust.
We have an active fire inside one of these buildings here.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Goodbye, baseball. Home runs in 3 consecutive games. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper.
The Mariners' postseason push is on, and there's a whole new way to be part of the action. Introducing the Homestretch Flex Plan, a $500 membership that gives you the freedom to choose your games and seats for the rest of the season, all while saving 5% on tickets and no fees.
Strike 3 call. Triple digits to end it and complete the sweep.
You can use your credit however you want. Go big with club seats for a couple high-stakes showdowns, or stretch it out into the final series against the Dodgers. And the best part? Homestretch Flex members get priority access to our postseason pre-sale. That means you're first in line when October comes calling. The team is locked in.
J.P. Crawford! Game winner, walk-off fashion in the 9th inning.
And now it's time to bring the energy down the stretch. Come on board today at mariners.com/homestretch. Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For them, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
The absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic Hot Tub. Get a truly untoppable deal. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a Lux Smart Top hardcover free. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. OpenPhone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. OpenPhone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? OpenPhone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With OpenPhone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with OpenPhone. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try OpenPhone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The Department of Homeland Security has asked the Pentagon to accommodate roughly 250 federal agents in vehicles at a military base in Illinois ahead of an expected increase in immigration roundups in the Chicago area. The naval station Great Lakes would be used as a staging area to oversee removal operations, according to a memo. Senator Dick Durbin wants a Senate hearing on the president's threats to deploy military forces to Chicago and other cities.
It is a waste of federal tax dollars. It is not going to reduce crime. It's political theater, and it shouldn't be at the expense of taxpayers and people, the professionals in the United States Navy.
Dave Cohen reports National Guard troops will likely receive a much warmer welcome from officials in New Orleans, another city on the president's list.
Since taking office, New Orleans Police Chief Ann Kirkpatrick has driven crime levels in New Orleans to some of their lowest ever.
This superintendent's going to work with anyone and everyone.
She says if the White House sends the National Guard here, she'll find a way to work with the troops.
I'm going to collaborate no matter what.
She's already welcomed state police and federal agents to assist, but not everyone's happy.
We will fight the powers that be.
Protesters say it threatens the city's sovereignty. Dave Cohen for CBS News, New Orleans.
Officials from Homeland Security Investigations arrested 475 people at a Hyundai factory in Georgia. Many were believed to be working there illegally. Special agent in charge, Stephen Schrank.
This was not a immigration operation where agents went into the premises, rounded up folks, and put them on buses. This has been a multi-month criminal investigation.
Many of those detained were said to be from South Korea. The factory had been touted by Georgia's governor as one of the largest economic development projects in the state's history. Governor Abbott of Texas signed a bill today improving the safety of youth camps after the deadly floods of July 4th. Eric Bushman reports.
Improved and safer camp safety is now law in the great state of Texas, a law that will save lives.
The new laws require local governments in flood-prone zones to have outdoor warning systems and emergency alert procedures. A very emotional Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick spoke of the families.
In their time of need and pain, they were gracious.
Patrick wants portraits of both camp counselors who died to hang in the Texas House and Senate. Eric Bushman for CBS News, Dallas.
Checking the numbers on Wall Street at this hour, stocks are lower. The Dow Jones Industrial is off 317. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Arrested for trying to light a deputy on fire. The story coming up, but first, Lori is at the KIRO Newsradio Traffic Center.
And traffic is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Redmond to Seattle now, 21 minutes on 520, just 18 if you're taking I-90. Heading from Everett into Seattle, it'll take you 33 minutes. And to Bellevue from Everett, 29 minutes, not seeing any delays. Westbound US 2 now, I am seeing more slowing after it was clear for almost an hour, but it's just approaching Homeacres. Tacoma to Seattle down to about 40-minute drive. Federal Way to Bellevue, 33 minutes. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Lakewood police have released chilling surveillance video of an attempted kidnapping at a bikini barista stand. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomi-Bow takes a look.
You see a man buying a drink. The barista handed him his order. The customer is seen aggressively grabbing her arm, trying to force her out the window. The barista braces herself on the framing when he lets go and drives away. During an interview with Lakewood detectives, 19-year-old Ezekiel Guerrero described what happened.
I remember reaching vividly, grabbed her, she said help. And when she said help, I let go.
Police say they tracked him down using his credit card receipt from that night.
He faces attempted kidnapping charges. A man in Ellensburg is facing attempted murder charges after allegedly trying to set a police officer on fire. A body cam video capturing the moment.
44 come code 301 at gunpoint. He just sprayed me with lighter fluid.
The King County deputy got away before the DUI suspect could light the fuel. Police later found the suspect hiding in a nearby trailer and took him into custody. Pierce County deputies were called to a McDonald's Monday night for a man sleeping behind the wheel in the drive-thru. They got much more than they bargained for. Inside the man's car, deputies found 2 handguns, a 3D printed assault-style rifle with a suppressor, along with large quantities of fentanyl, cocaine, and meth. Pierce County Deputy Carly Capetto.
This was clearly and obviously a case of a drug dealer who is distributing in Pierce County with very large amount of drugs and firearms.
The 39-year-old man was arrested for drug distribution. Seattle police are going undercover as 49ers fans. The move is meant to keep fans of both teams from getting out of hand at Sunday's Hawks game against San Francisco at Lumen Field. Former Seattle radio personality and current Bay Area resident Ryan Harris says it's the real 49er fans that you got to watch out for.
There's always fights and people getting beat up and hurt. It's a really rough and sometimes dangerous crowd.
Kickoff is 1:05 p.m. on Sunday. Big changes coming to Westlake Park ahead of the World Cup next summer. Seattle Parks and Rec says construction will begin next month to revamp the downtown space. It'll reopen in the spring with new amenities and a more open layout. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It's 68 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Happy Fresh Friday to all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in, and we are entering our 3rd hour of the show.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. I just want to brag about your daughter for a second. And the reason I want to brag about her is because I had a chance to watch her play the lead role in The Whiz recently. And I'm telling you, that girl has some serious talent. She is an incredible singer, an incredible actress, and just a wonderful all-around human being. Not that I'm surprised.
Thank you. I'm so glad you were able to come.
The future is so bright.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
I know. So this is her last year before going to...
Her last year. Yeah. I'm almost dead. You know what?
Almost an empty nester.
What hit me was going to the grocery store, because right now she's out of the country, but right now it was going to the grocery store. and realizing I no longer needed to buy their favorite things.
Oh.
I didn't need their Eggos. I didn't need their orange. I was like, oh my, I was in the store like in tears.
It is going to hit you. Okay, coming up at 11:30, we do agree to disagree. But right now, it is time for our top stories. Just a reminder, you are an important part of our show. Our text line is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And we also see you on YouTube.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
Well, let's start off with what is going on in Pierce County because they're having a staffing crisis at the sheriff's office, and it could get worse because, in part, there's a hefty signing bonus that is luring some deputies away to a neighboring police force. The department's Carly Capetto confirms that 2 deputies resigned recently to take other jobs, and she admits that the Tacoma Police Department is offering an incentive that is very attractive.
It's essentially a $50,000 hiring bonus, probably one of the highest hiring bonuses any police agency in Washington state has seen.
And she says Tacoma's offer is available only to deputies who live in Pierce County, so it's hard for the sheriff's office not to take this personally.
Obviously, it would take away from our current deputies that are residents of our county.
And Angela, this offer also comes at a time when the department is already dealing with nearly 24 vacancies.
Let's just say if we lost 10 deputies, that would significantly impact our operations.
And perhaps I should point out that this also comes at a time when the Pierce County Sheriff, Keith Swank, is making headlines again because of some controversial social media comments. The latest was when he asked whether trans people should be banned from owning guns. But there have been other comments that he's made that I will bring up. But I just wanted to hear your thoughts before we go on.
Leadership matters. I think all of us have had a boss at some point in our lives. And you have people that you love working for and people that you loathe working for. And in this situation, because regardless of how you feel about Sheriff Swank, he is divisive because of some of the comments. And so you can't imagine that every deputy there is in agreement with this or wants to be associated with this. So if you have another agency close by offering you this incentive, it's if you love the person or the place that you're with, then you would say, you know what, I'm going to hang in here and try to make it work. So to me, this is signaling that Tacoma is taking advantage of an opportunity.
Absolutely.
They see a vulnerability. It makes us wonder, it should make us all wonder wherever we live when you have these kind of vulnerabilities, how you're open to folks taking advantage of it.
Exactly. And I would love to hear from people who work for the Pierce County Sheriff's Department. Text us 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. You can do so anonymously. But I will just say that of people who I have known and have had great respect for in the Pierce County Sheriff's Department, Keith Swank, the current sheriff, is an absolute embarrassment. And unfortunately, when you hear about the Pierce County Sheriff's Department, your mind goes to Keith Swank and some of the comments that he has made. And that's not just as the sheriff, but I do want to mention that he did say something just recently, and apparently he's getting a lot of heat from constituents, people who live in Pierce County who are upset with some of these comments that he's made. And Chef, tell me what it is that he said, because I'm trying to find his response to it, because he just put it out now. But he says, I keep getting emails, DMs, Facebook Messenger messages, and phone calls from my haters threatening to call Human Resources, the executive, the county council, and the ACLU to have me either fired or removed from office for my social media posts. They think that scares me. They are dumb. That's his response. It's very mature. I know that he has said to other news organizations that he does these social media posts to create conversation. I think he thinks it helps his brand.
How about he focuses on public safety and running a sheriff's office really well and making sure that his deputies are taken care of, and that you got I mean, I'm not saying you can't do both, but so much attention on social media and responding to the media and being, it feels like your eye is off the ball.
Well, it is, and I feel for the men and women who serve for the Pierce County Sheriff's Department. And again, I mean, they already have an extremely difficult job. And I just want to remind you that when Swank was a police captain, he violated SPD standards by putting out social media posts that said, trans women are men, hashtag keep the republic safe, men and women who pretend to be the other sex are appropriating gender. He clearly has issues with the trans community. And he also said that Nancy Pelosi coordinated the deadly attack on January 6th. He said Ashley Babbitt was murdered. Why are you putting out these social media posts that do harm to your department's reputation? I mean, that happened as SPD, and they said he would have been fired, and then he ends up getting elected to the Pierce County Sheriff's Department, highest office. And I will say that because I was looking at it, I was like, man, how could the voters get it so wrong? Mm-hmm. The vote margin was nearly 8,000 votes. The Pierce County Republican Party endorsed Keith Swank, regardless of his background. Again, brought disgrace to SPD, and now is continuing with this, what he's doing, which I think is just harmful. Yeah. I mean, there are a few people who will be saying, oh, go Keith Swank, keep it up, keep it up. I'm going to guess that the vast majority of people who live in Pierce County think this is embarrassing.
Yeah. When did we get away from the concept that when you're an elected public servant, you are in that role to represent everyone within the community that you serve?
Thank you.
His job is to uphold the law, uphold the Constitution for all of his citizens. And yet here he is on X writing that a certain swath of his citizens perhaps shouldn't own guns, that perhaps there are some people in our society who just aren't worthy of constitutional rights. And it's this caring more about scoring points for the team you perceive yourself to be on than serving the people you are elected to serve.
Yes.
And that is disgusting.
And I know he talked about his moment in the hot tub where he had an epiphany, and I wish he would have another moment in the hot tub where he has an epiphany that says, could you please be a nicer person? Could you please focus on your job as the Pierce County Sheriff and bring dignity to the office instead of shame? I mean, that would be my advice.
And I think that's a perfect way to end it.
Okay, let's talk about this
Yes.
suspected robber.
Yes, let's do this. So we're learning more about the man who is charged with breaking into the homes of Macklemore and some other high-profile folks. We've been following this for months. Just like, Richard Sermon's home's broken into and all these other people. So Patrick Masonette of Renton now faces multiple counts of residential burglary, first-degree burglary, robbery, all kinds of things. While in court yesterday, he seemed a bit unhinged, making obscene hand gestures towards the camera, yelling, spewing several expletives. Meanwhile, the King County prosecutor announced a new slew of charges, at least 10. Some of the victims, Ursula: Seattle Mariners pitcher Luis Castillo, Baseball and Mariners Hall of Famer Ichiro, Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Blake Snell, cornerback Richard Sherman, and then, of course, Macklemore. So this is the list, right? And they were able to make these connections based on cell phone. It's like cell phone records and know where the cell phone was during the time of the robberies and some other evidence like that. I think what's interesting, there are a couple of things that are interesting here. Number one, police arrested the store's owner for allegedly trafficking the stolen items. Because when these items are stolen, they're going somewhere, right?
Yes.
So they arrested this person who owns this jewelry store. And please, I know I'm not pronouncing the name correctly, but it's Teen Folk Jewelry in South Seattle.
Okay.
So they arrested the owner, and they were supposed to decide this week if they were being charged. I have not heard, but I will have a major problem if you don't come after the places that are making these operations happen.
Yes.
That is very frustrating to me. The second thing I wanted to point out is that when I read the details about the cases, is that some of them were confrontational with, like in Ichiro's case, his wife was home at the time, and this person who entered allegedly like pushed through the door, and she was like, it was a battle where she was trying to keep her bedroom door closed, and then he was able to get through, and then she put a bar up. It sounded like it was a scary confrontation. And so this is,
same case with in Macklemore's case. I believe it was the nanny
was home and
there.
she was trying to call neighbor. Yes, this was scary stuff.
And I also
Julio Rodriguez, his girlfriend Jordan Hudema, she's a star soccer player, was locked herself in the bathroom. So I mean, he was under the impression that they're out of town for events, but their families were still home.
But I'm taking it farther than that, because in one case, once he saw they were home, he went after them. Or allegedly. I mean, that's what these charging documents are saying, that he actually tried to push through the door, and Yumiko, Ichiro's wife, was having to try to hold the door shut.
I mean, how scary
is
that?
So I don't know that he cared whether they were home.
No, and here's my other question. How did he know? I mean, maybe it's just so easy anymore, but not only how did he know where to go, but then was so successful in breaking into each of these homes.
Well, he had one of the things he did is he had Wi-Fi jammers, right? So any security systems like a Ring camera, or if you're using your cell to call 911, it's connected to the Wi-Fi network. You're not going to be able to use those devices at all. So in a number of instances, he would just crash through like a sliding glass door, kick it in, and him and a couple buddies would run in. If you guys want to hear what he said to reporters in court yesterday, because he could see the cameras, right?
Yes.
It's going to be beat. This is from
crazy.
King 5 here.
Don't forget to tell them I'm for the 50.
Unhinged.
Okay. All right. So I also want to give.
This cannot be someone that we see. I mean,
back on the street?
Yeah,
back
exactly.
On the street?
That's what I'm going to say. Like, what is his criminal history, A?
There was a history.
Okay.
There was a history. I don't have all the details in front of me, but I also want to shine a light on the others who are part of this operation, which to me, allegedly, the jewelry store.
Yes.
So these are some of the items they found at the jewelry store. The Sounders Championship ring engraved with Macklemore's name.
And aren't you asking questions like, how did you get a hold of this?
A Super Bowl ring, a diamond tennis bracelet, and more. And get this, police said those valuable items were stored out of sight and were noticeably different in quality from the jewelry that was on display.
Okay, so they knew they had stolen property.
And I saw a lawsuit from 2020 where the same jewelry store was allegedly involved in something. So I think if we really want this stuff to stop, we need to get that guy who is
dangerous.
Unhinged. Yes. And we need to get the people who are part of the ring, these stores who are knowingly taking this stuff.
Absolutely. You're exactly right on that. Hey, we just have a couple of minutes, and a bunch of you texted in, and I want to mention that former King County Sheriff John Urquhart on our conversation about Keith Swank.
Yes.
And this is from a former King County Sheriff, John Urquhart, who says, you all said it best, leadership matters, yes. And then Sarah from 509 said, it is a reflection of his own insecurities. I mean, I'm curious, though. And then someone else mentioned, it sounds like Keith Swank is trying to get a job in the Trump administration.
Several people have said that. Like, I think it was Allie who's like, he wants to go on Fox News so bad.
But I want to hear more from people who live in Pierce County. Is this a reflection? Is he more a reflection than maybe we think? I mean, is this who you think this is who we want representing us in the Pierce County Sheriff's Department? And I would especially love to hear from people who work in that department. Because they're the ones who
think he is a reflection of a large group of people. And it used to be we didn't give those people platforms and leadership positions because it wasn't cool to call people. If you're a leader, it wasn't cool to call people names. It wasn't cool to be abusive or in your language. And so now we've made that okay. That used to not. Because I remember going to a leadership class, and this was when I was a teenager. And they explained that, and we had this whole exercise, like, what if you were dancing on the table and you know, you got in trouble, and they were like, well, other people were dancing on the table. And they said, no, you're a leader.
Yeah.
You're a leader. So you don't do what everyone else does. That's the whole point. You're there to see the bigger picture.
Right.
You're there to look out for
And I guess
others.
my question is that, I mean, and you're saying we're okay with that now? I mean, in my heart and my soul, I'm not okay with that. And I still think the vast majority are not okay with that.
What it points to is the problematic issues of the sheriff's office itself, in that it is an elected position. And so in many, many jurisdictions, not all, it has become a political position. And a political law enforcement position, I think, can be a dangerous one in the wrong hands. I would prefer to see them appointed and have oversight. But, you know, the only voter's recourse now is recall, which are incredibly unlikely to succeed. Or, you know, wait a couple of years and change your vote.
Ebony in Tacoma says it's because no one votes in Pierce County. It is just sad. I mean, the turnout was awful. And the primary, there were 4 strong contenders. I mean, there were 4 people who got a lot of votes. And then ultimately, he won by about 8,000 votes in the general election. But I cannot in my heart think that most people think it's okay. That would just be a sad statement about society, for sure. Okay, we agree to disagree coming up next. This is the Gee and Ursula Show with Angela.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up, or when you store, start with Stable.
From the roof to the deck, the siding to the gutters, and energy-efficient windows, State Roofing and Exteriors is your one-stop shop for home protection. With over 55 years serving Western Washington, we don't just work here, we live here. We know what your home is up against when the cold sets in and the rain starts falling. Right now, we're making it easier than ever to get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
I'm Captain John Kelly with the Salvation Army. The Seattle Addiction Recovery Program helps men break free from addiction at no cost to them through physical, emotional, and spiritual growth. That's why our success rate is nearly 4 times the national average. While participants pay nothing, it costs the Salvation Army about $10,000 to help one person graduate into recovery. Want to help? Join us for the Red Shield Classic Golf Tournament, September 11th at Echo Falls. Register or donate at tsaredshieldclassic.org. Together, we can change lives.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions, like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind and the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Switching bath soap from sandalwood to tropical essence? That's glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Tolling soon. Free Good to Go sticker pass at goodtogo509.com.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Hey there, Dawn Reiling from Olympic Hot Tub. It's fair season, but the absolute best savings on a hot tub aren't at the fair. They're at Olympic. Purchase a saltwater hot spring spa and get a deal that's truly untoppable. A Lux Smart Top hardcover included for free. Wow! Up to $4,500 off the best tub you can own. And it's only at Olympic till September 14th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Carter Subaru wants to buy your car. Carter Subaru will buy your vehicle for top dollar, even if you're not in the market for a new one. And when you are ready to buy a new vehicle, your drive begins with savings at Carter Subaru. Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A former Alaska Airlines pilot is expected to enter pleas in court today for allegedly trying to shut off the engines of an airplane in mid-flight nearly 2 years ago. Joseph David Emerson admitting.
It's the most consequential 3 seconds of my life.
He told police he was depressed and had consumed hallucinogenic mushrooms 48 hours before the flight to Everett. Investigators say he was off duty but in the cockpit and reached for the cutoff valves. He's expected to plead guilty in federal court to interfering with the flight crew. In Oregon State Court, he'll plead no contest to endangering an aircraft and 83 misdemeanor counts of reckless endangerment. A Pakistani native who was arrested when he turned up for a citizenship interview in Tukwila is now being deported.
I don't know right now when, if ever, I will see my husband again.
Mohammed Zahid Chowdhury's wife told me he's a disabled U.S. military veteran who's lived in the U.S. for 25 years. Homeland Security said Chowdhury has a criminal past in Australia, which he lied about in order to obtain a green card here. Federal agents have arrested 475 undocumented immigrants working for Hyundai in southern Georgia. Special Agent Steve Schrenk.
This, in fact, was the largest single-site enforcement operation in the history of Homeland Security investigations.
The workers, many of them Korean nationals, were helping to build a new electric vehicle battery plant at Hyundai's huge complex near Savannah. One day after Washington, U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell said this to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
You're so wrong on your facts. You're interrupting me. And, sir, you're a charlatan. That's what you are.
Washington State made good on its promise to offer its own vaccine guidelines on the advice of leading medical associations. Kennedy's federal agency is only recommending COVID-19 shots to seniors. The Washington State Health Department today issued a standing order to make the shots available without a prescription to most residents 6 months and older. The August employment picture was not great. The government says the economy added just 22,000 jobs. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
It shows a slowing labor market. We added 22,000 jobs in August. That was versus what we expected to be 80,000. What I want to say is it's 4 months of slowdown. It is not great, but we are not in a recession.
Still, the markets don't like it. The Dow is down 227 points. NASDAQ off 44. Nate Connors is at the KIRO Newsradio Traffic Center.
Thanks, Heather. AAA has this update. In Renton, we've got a collision that's just off the Valley Freeway at 180th, affecting the off-ramp there. It's at the intersection of 180th and East Valley Road, and that intersection is closed right now while an investigation wraps up. Looks like drivers are being rerouted up to 41st Street and then down to Lind Avenue to get around this. Both directions of I-5 are crowded, headed through downtown Seattle. Linwood to Seattle, 25 minutes. Both lake bridges all clear. Down in JBLM, no surprise here. South 5, we already have about a 2 to 3 mile bumper-to-bumper backup at the main gate. Tacoma to Olympia, 55 minutes already. And a reminder, out toward Lake Forest Park, State Route 104 closed in both directions at 35th Avenue through October 25th. There's a 1 mile detour. AAA Washington's all-new everyday membership gives you discounts and perks at more than 900 local businesses, all for just $25 a month. Join today. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Increasing sunshine today with highs in the low 80s. It's 68 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show, and it is time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
All right, let's do a little agree to disagree celebrity edition. Angela has abandoned us, by the way. This is pre-scheduled, but
yes, exactly.
The last half hour of the show, it's just you and me the last 2 days. Okay, so comedian Kareem Rama has this YouTube show called Subway Takes, where he sits down on the New York subway with a B or C-list celeb and asks them for their controversial hot takes. So I want to go through some of those. You are not going to recognize some of these names because they're hip and young, and I just had to Google some of them myself. So I'll start with comedian and model Alex Consani. She says that sliding into someone's DMs, direct messaging them, is a modern communication, just like approaching someone in a bar. So Ursula, is it okay to just hit on someone through the DMs?
Okay, so I am so far removed from this, but I have shared with all of you that I get folks in my DMs and I end up laughing hysterically because I'm thinking, are you for real? Do you
get
really?
A lot too.
I know. It is the strangest thing. So I would actually agree. If I were in the dating scene, I don't think it's that much different than the dating apps, which is very much a thing. I think it's just now just bypassing having to pay a fee. And if you actually are able to vet somebody on your own and realize that they're not some kind of jokester or fraudster,
based on what they publicly share.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I would do it with big caution, but I think that there is truth to that. I've heard of more people saying, yeah, we met through someone sliding on my DMs. I'd be really cautious.
Okay, I both agree and disagree. So the only difference between being a welcome flirt and being a creep is if the other person finds you attractive.
That's exactly right.
Right?
So sometimes you'll strike it hot.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, a guy who is incredibly attractive can say something that anyone else would find objectively creepy and get away with it. But Ursula, do you know how many times that I have had someone slide into my DMs during the history of this show?
How many?
0. Exactly 0.
See, I think it's
I don't think this happens to guys.
I was going to say, I think it happens
It's a
to
complete
women a
one-way
lot
street.
more often.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, and I've shared this with all of you too, I have it very explicitly stated. I am a happily married woman with 2 sons and, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter.
Why does that confound you?
Because I'm like, your chances of someone responding positively to, I mean, some of them are so bad. The chances would be higher if I were single.
That's true. That's true. But the thing is, like, online, you can shoot 200 shots over the course of 2 days, right?
Yeah.
And if you get one person that responds positively, who cares about the other 199? All right. Musician Lil Nas X, he says that couples should sleep in separate rooms, regardless of whether they have sleep habits that do not match up. So often couples, Ursula, do this sleep divorce thing, which is a really positive way of framing it, by the way, because of snoring or, one partner moves too much in bed or they have mismatched schedules. But what about just for the sake of having separate spaces?
If it works for your relationship, I say go for it. Now, there was a time when my husband and I would sleep in separate beds anyway, because we had different schedules.
Yeah.
Or I was working like crazy amounts of hours. Or I'll be honest, when I was working those crazy, crazy hours and my kids were young, it was our 2 sons who were in my bed, not my husband. And I'm normalizing it for those moms or dads, but mostly moms who do that and feel really guilty because society just thinks that whole family bed thing is a bad thing. I mean, it was out of desperation.
Yeah.
It was out of desperation when my kid, like I said, my kids were young and I was working crazy amounts of hours and it was like our bonding time. The boys turned out normal.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I mean, I go to sleep later than Gabby usually because I'm working on the show sheet. And when I'm done, usually I'll go in and snuggle with Alice for half an hour, and then sometimes Gabby will come in at 2 a.m. like, what are you doing in here? I don't think there's anything wrong with sleeping in separate rooms, but
No.
I think we lie to ourselves a lot because we think of it as, oh my gosh, we're going to lose this intimacy.
Exactly.
And I don't know how typical it is for people to be having like all of this great communication, intimacy at the end of their day when they're both exhausted. Most people don't sleep like touching each other, really. And so I think it's much less of a deal than people make out to be.
And I think that you might actually have better luck in the intimacy department if your partner is well rested, if your partner isn't irritable because you snored all night, or they sleep hot, you sleep cold, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's just a logical solution.
I wake up with a lot less bruises on my ribs, too. Right over there. All right, let's see. This is actress and comedian Igwe Modim. I'm sure I'm butchering that. She says that the number one thing you need in a restaurant is food quality. Atmosphere and ambiance are basically worthless. What say you to that?
I would say 80% I agree. I think if you have crappy food and a great ambiance, it doesn't matter because it is the number one thing, at least for me, is the food. But I will say that if you can match both of them, that's great. But it also means you're probably paying a hefty price for that food. I know of more hole in the walls that I think have delicious food that'll have lines out the door. And it's nothing about the ambiance and it's everything about the food. So I think that's critical.
I would say that I 100% agree. Ambiance is fantastic, but you can have the best ambiance in a crap place. An absolute dive, that can be part of the ambiance. And usually that is what you're paying for is some interior designer and $200,000 worth of interior furnishings and decorations to be in some swank place where they can't even make like a basic cheeseburger or some nachos taste good. So I think that's a pretty good take. One more here. Hasan Minhaj, the comedian, thinks that grown-ups should never endure public happy birthday serenades in restaurants, calling it downright embarrassing. Do you like the sombrero and the happy birthday, Ursula?
I can't help but smile when that happens, whether I'm on a cruise, whether I'm in a restaurant. And the singing just keeps getting worse and worse. I mean, remember when Farrell's used to be a thing? Do you remember Farrell's ice cream parlor?
No.
Was that? Okay.
This isn't before my time.
Myself.
I'm culturally incompetent.
No, but I loved it when they would come, running up and singing the happy birthday. I mean, those are some of the little joys in life. Now, if the employees look like they're tortured by doing it, then I get it. Then it just, okay, you're just doing it to be performative. But if they look like they're having fun, you're having fun, what's the harm?
I think Happy Birthday is probably one of the most torturous songs out there. I don't have a problem with the tradition, but it is always off-key. You have people singing in 5 different keys. Those waiters, by the way.
Yeah, they hate it.
Even if they don't look tortured, on the inside, they realize how demeaning it is. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm here singing Happy Birthday for a 38-year-old man in public. It's awful.
Man.
It's so embarrassing. Plus, who
Life's
really wants
too short?
Who wants the whole rrestaurant looking at you?
Oh my gosh!
Like,
you know what I enjoy doing? I enjoy singing.
You sing with them?
Oh, of course I do. Yes. If someone's yes.
You embarrass your family in public sometimes, don't you?
Probably.
I'm thinking of one of your sons in particular, who I know would not be okay with the happy birthdays in public.
You know what? Funny enough, he doesn't like big birthday celebrations, but he'll always choose to do it with family. And we
he knows
know
what's important.
And we know that about him, and so we won't ask. We won't tell him, hey, it's his birthday. Yeah, we won't do that. Hey, by the way.
Yes.
Someone wants to know, 718 says, I've been wondering, could your DMs be coming from bot accounts? And I was checking that. Yes. And then another person, and I've checked that out too. So I look to see how many people they're following or how many posts they have. The other one is Mark from Graham says, I'm obviously way out of touch. What in the world is sliding in on someone's DM?
I tried to explain it, but it's direct messages. So every social media app has a direct messaging feature where you can write someone a little note. That is sliding into someone's DMs.
Yes.
In the modern parlance.
Yes, and it's very popular. Okay, coming up next, we hear you and our words to live by. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the final days of Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale. Up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange, a permanent solution to distance, intermediate, and near vision problems. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless.
And because we've performed over 100,000 procedures and followed the outcomes, we have the experience to know if RLE is right for you.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com and let's get your vision feeling young again, permanently.
Go to k2visionrle.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Open Phone gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Open Phone lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you and your team can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Open Phone automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Open Phone's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to coach your team and level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Open Phone. Open Phone. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Open Phone for free at openphone.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's openphone.com/free. openphone.com/FREE.
At Carter Subaru, your drive begins with savings. With over 300 new vehicles in stock, shop your way, in-store or from home. Plus, when you buy from Carter, you support our community. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard today. And just like that, we are done with our Fresh Friday edition of the Gee and Ursula Show. We will be back on Monday, but Chef, why don't you start off with some of the text messages?
Absolutely. The pilot who took mushrooms and tried to bring down a plane is reaching a plea deal to a success. Pilots and flight attendants are randomly drug and alcohol tested, contrary to special treatment. Not sure what the FAA site says, but I'm confident that pilot turned to mushrooms to address his mental health because other options are really not available to him. I also wanted to mention there was someone, I believe it was Tony in Everett, who says he's friends with him.
Yes.
And was very emotional about how he feels he's been vilified in the media.
Yes.
By some. And
he said he was a good person and it was not someone who would
intentionally do something like that.
And also it would not do any good to keep him behind bars any longer than he's already served.
Yeah.
So we will find out today what goes on because, again, he reached this plea deal. On Undercover, cops being dressed as opposing fans when the Seahawks play the 49ers. 360 said, years ago, my husband and I attended a Denver-Seattle game. Once the people around us realized my husband was a Bronco fan, they were relentless in their abuse. Hoping that was not the norm, we attended a game a couple of years later, and same result. So I don't think Seahawk fans have the moral authority to call any other fans thugs.
You know what I have to say to that, to all the fans? If you see people around you doing that, feel free to self-police. Because it's one thing to have, some playful banter back and forth and give each other some crap. But if you're literally being abusive, you see that happening, you need to tell other people to knock it off because that's not a good environment for anyone.
Or I would also suggest maybe getting help to get that person to knock it off because I've also been at a Husky stadium when you've got someone who's drunk and belligerent and you try to confront them and they don't react well.
Yeah.
So be careful in who you confront. When it comes to phones in schools, 206 says it's not just your cell phones. They have Google Chromebooks, which have full access to YouTube. Our daughter was watching 6 hours worth of short clips a day. I could see it, but it still took over a year to get them to restrict her access. Google owns YouTube. They donate the laptops.
See, that's crazy. Like, I know at my son's school, whenever the kids have their computers open, the teachers, at least at his grade level, can see what's on the child's screen, each child's screen.
But imagine having to do that multiple times a day and
You know who's the problem. I don't know.
Not always.
Full access to YouTube is a bad idea.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Another one says, my daughters are in middle school. This year they have a new cell policy. They used to be able to use phones at lunch and on the bus. Now no one uses cells at school. My 8th grader wasn't happy about it, but now she told me kids are talking more at lunch. In fact, she didn't even want to bring her phone today.
How awesome is that?
Isn't that the whole problem with phones and social media is the FOMO? Because everyone else is on those devices and on the social media platforms. The kids all feel like they all have to participate.
Yes. On Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank, Mike in Portland said, regarding Sheriff Swank, like it or not, he is a clear example of democracy in action. Just as Marjorie Taylor Greene reflects the voters of Northwest Georgia, Sheriff Swank reflects the people of Pierce County.
Well, we did hear from someone who says they just retired after 35 years of service in the Pierce County Sheriff's Department. And they said they only voted for Swank because he made Cynthia Fajardo, who he believes is a better leader, the undersheriff. I'm not sure I would do that again. Who knows? Maybe he will be removed and then it would go to Cynthia, best case scenario.
I've heard great things about Cynthia Fajardo. Great things from within the department. Nikki in Tacoma says Patty Jackson was in second place and more qualified. I cannot for the life of me understand why Pierce County voters would choose him over her besides gender being a factor. And then there was Raindrop in Puyallup who says, I don't believe the majority of Pierce County residents support this Yahoo sheriff. He is an embarrassment and does not represent who I am. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a happy medium anymore. It's one extreme or the other.
Is there still a bias against people who have held administrative roles in positions of leadership versus, line officer experience? Because I think that was the problem with Patty, is people thought of her as like a office administrator, and this is the guy who's really done it.
Yeah. Have we had a female president in the United States yet? Yeah. Is there, for some people, maybe. Yeah, that's apparently a difficult decision. Okay, how about this? Okay, I love this one. We're going to end here. Is it demeaning for restaurant workers to sing Happy Birthday like Chef says? Is that song just bad to begin with? Ernie in Kent says, everyone does not feel that way, Ursula. Chef is getting old. There's nothing wrong with that. Singing Happy Birthday to me is totally fine. Gee whiz, Chef.
Not everyone would walk around with a freaking boombox playing music either, Ernie. You're a special sort, and I love you.
And he's got the best music. And this is a quote that I love, and I'm going to say it again, from Bob Carey, actually. Unexpected kindness is the most powerful, least costly, and most underrated agent of human change. Love you all. We're going to do this again on Monday. Nick, take us out.
Well, with the kids now back in school and summer near its end, we get more weekends staying dry and Seahawks games to 10. And I'm glad to do those regular maneuvers on a dime than to have my own free Axela bot watching me all the time. And I'm sure if going to a restaurant with that metal mound, it'd be telling waiters it's my birthday while I'm not around. I've heard it's programmed to embarrass as well, so it's a given if it does that.
Nick, thank you so much. Speaking of people who have great music, Nick is a musical genius. Found that out during my birthday, too.
He's a good DJ.
Yes, he is. Okay, thank you.
Slide into his
all.
DMs.
Oh, geez. Don't get that started.
Oh, no. Thank you all. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Jake and Spike are coming up next. We'll see you on Monday.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
Girl, I like the way you talk to me. What's that you're saying? Even if it's wrong, girl, I do agree.
Man wide open, touchdown Seahawks.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football with the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Number 71, Walter Jones, left tackle. The anchor to the left side of the offensive line for the Seahawks that went to the Super Bowl. One of the best players in franchise history.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom,
Go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, "Oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo." I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Gee and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO Newsradio.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today. You could be owed money for medical bills and other damages.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1. To call